Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the 13th Dimension.
From the 13th dimension.
13th dimension.
13th dimension.
Another 13th dimension.
And welcome to the first show of the 13th Dimension.
Amazing. This is epic.
Yeah, this is. Welcome to the 13th Dimension.
If it's paranormal,
Or beyond.
We got it covered. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 100th episode.
We made it.
We cannot hear you, Scott.
I was going to say, this time I remember unmuting it.
Hey.
Now we can hear you.
I'm sitting over here laughing because the very first comment better be an NC disclaimer if Scotty is coming on.
I've seen that. Like Joanne already knows. She's like, listen. Oh, God.
I may occasionally let something slip too. I'm just warning you all.
I think we all do. I think we all do. It is so nice to have everybody back on an actual scheduled 13th Dimension, not one of the weekend specials, but an actual Friday night event. We're home.
You're home.
And just so everyone knows, I'm really sorry. Crystal can't make it tonight. She's really, really sick. She has whatever flu is going around. She tried to eat a little bit of dinner tonight, and right to the bathroom she went. So,
Yeah, not good.
she wants everybody to know that she loves y'all, and she's really sorry she couldn't be here.
We miss her.
No doubt.
And I have a notification. We did not go live on the 13th Dimension page.
Oh, jeez, again?
Well, that's the first time for this one. It was the actual things page last night.
Right. Scott Smith, no excuses.
Dude, I do that all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
How you doing, Scott? Hi, everybody. Too.
Oh, no excuses. That's Scott.
Jill.
My bad. Wow, no excuses. Listen here, mister. I'm just kidding, Scott. Just kidding.
You don't want him ninjaing you.
Well, he's got to catch me first.
Well, that's the beauty about that, Scott, because you will not see him coming.
He won't see me coming either. I'm 3
Well,
foot
Scott
one.
found that out the hard way.
Hey, I'm just saying, Scott Smith, if you go to kick Scott Wilson,
You better aim,
I'm
you
just
better-
saying.
you better aim low. Don't let me get a hold of that leg, though. I get a hold of that leg.
Can you kick
Diggle
that high,
Tom.
Scott?
Say what?
Can you kick that high?
I ain't gonna kick that high. I'm just gonna grab his leg and hump it.
I figured that's what you were going to say.
Well,
I was going.
I know Tim's been on the receiving end of that many times.
Isn't there a video on that, too?
Oh yeah, dude. There's like several videos.
There's several.
I was actually trying to find the video of you humping his leg so that I can include it in this video.
You could have asked my wife. She could have sent it to you.
I did not think about that.
Wilson the Humper.
Wilson the Humper. So how you holding up, Nick? You doing good, brother?
Doing pretty good. Just been I haven't really investigated too much, but I'm trying to get back into doing it. But aside from that, just been taking it easy for myself, especially after what happened to me a few months ago, and just making the right choices.
Yeah, it's important.
But just had a angiogram a few days ago, and it was to just do pretty much one final test on my head to see how things have been, and they've said the chances for something like this to ever happen again is extremely small. So they to this day they still don't know exactly what caused the 2 brain bleeds, but it's just probably one of those things that I think we're probably just never going to know the answer what caused them. But the chances of it happening again is little to none.
And that's the really sucky thing about certain things in the medical. If they cannot come up with an explanation, it makes you wonder, well, what the hell is it?
Yeah, it makes you a lot more cautious because you're afraid that you're going to make that mistake again. Because since we don't have the answer, it's like trying to find a cure or vaccine. Now, unfortunately, there's really no way I could truly prevent it from happening again.
And that's always the scariest thing is when we're like, well, we're not sure. You're like,
Yeah, I know.
like you're not helping here, man.
Yeah, I
like,
know. We tried with the best doctors we had, but even they're just as baffled as we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, theoretically, Chicago should have some of the more better doctors than most other towns because the bigger cities generally get the better doctors.
Yeah, I was at probably the best one. We had Evanston Hospital. That's like best one we had. Hey Ed, and yeah, even the best one that we went to, they didn't know what else to do. I mean, we checked almost every facility, and they just didn't have the answers we were looking for.
Wow.
So it's quite a mystery in itself. But for now, at the very least, I could just focus on making better choices for myself and my health. Hey, Chantel.
Hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
It's funny. It's the 100th episode. We ain't got a cake, no champagne, nothing.
If we were gonna have that, I could have stopped at the grocery store nearby. I was walking near it earlier today.
We may not have a cake, but we do have a Slim Jim.
No, wait a minute. Where's Scott's chicken nuggets?
Dude, I was going to get some, but my son made dinner tonight, and so I was kind of ruled out of that situation. So, because had I not, he would have.
Jeremy, hold that back up again. Because here at the 13th Dimension, we bow to no corporate sponsor.
I don't have a drink or anything.
I have so missed that.
I can't do one of these shows without having something to drink right beside me the whole time. I've got a whole lot.
Ow!
Tim, even that's not good for you.
No.
So I apologize
Load of
for
sugar.
not having my nuggies.
Got those right here beside me.
Hey,
If you see a bright light, it's because
it used to be for you. I remember it'd be 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when we'd be on, and she'd get up.
Yeah, because it was a lot later down there than it was. Well, it was a lot earlier down there than it was out in the UK.
No, it was later for her.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was later for her. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I got it mixed up.
Yeah, yeah. She was a couple more. She was ahead of us a couple more hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. Yeah,
Ed.
they're like 6 hours ahead of us, I do believe.
Ed, you
At
forgot.
Or 5.
You forgot to put the O in front of the yeah, Ed.
Oh,
Never do a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah.
not true, actually, because the current spokesman, his slogan, his motto is "Yeah." Not oh yeah, yeah.
Well, before you know it, it'll Mandela effect, and Macho Man Randy Savage never said the word "ooh" in front of yeah. Before you know it,
Hey, ain't none of them compared to messing with Sasquatch. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I love those.
Messing with Sasquatch is the best. As a matter of fact, Tim, I sent you a video today on that.
I haven't even looked at my phone all day.
I'm gonna have to send you guys both a video, and you're gonna find this hard to believe, but it was from an actual Bigfoot hunt of a guy. His videos have been featured on Paranormal Con on camera. In fact, he was searching for the Ohio Grassman, and he went into this cave. He had to climb up to get to this cave, and he's searching around. And the first thing, shortly afterwards, you hear him say, "Oh my God," and he points the camera down. He actually finds a bag of Jack Links. It's like the commercials. It's like the commercials were right.
I do, Jenny. I do remember you guys pretending to feed me a nugget. That was so freaking great, dude.
There was another night, and this was me, Jenny, and Crystal. Crystal would give me the nugget through the camera, and then I would give that nugget to Jenny through the camera.
Yep.
And on video, it looked real.
Yeah,
it did, dude. I remember that. Absolutely.
it was pretty fun.
we had so much fun that first year.
We were
We had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun on every one of these shows. Either I learned something, or I helped somebody else learn something, or I mean, to me, it was just so much fun doing all of it.
see for me it was just people. I help people learn what the fuck is wrong with that dude. Like that's that's like
Hey,
who,
Scott,
That's a little bit of all of us.
if it makes you feel any better, people were already thinking about you before the show even started.
true. But those who never met me just kind of were like, dang, like this dude right here. Oh yeah, good times.
So
And I'm
I
still
really loved the intro video, Jeremy, seeing how much darker gray or how much lighter gray my beard has gotten over the years.
speaking of that intro right there at the very beginning where I'm typing, doing the typing, that is actually footage of me typing the 13th Dimension novel.
oh, right on, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah. I have finally started. It is going to be a 13 book series, and I'm actually getting towards the end of this first book.
Wow. I can't even type a page of stuff, and this dude's wanting to do 13 books. Huh.
This is my 10th novel, Scott.
Wow, dude.
When I finish, my goal is to be done with this before I take off for Louisiana, which is a week for tomorrow. And my goal is to be done with that so I can just work on nonfiction stuff while I'm out on the road. Because
Heck
nonfiction goes quicker.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of imagination. Sorry.
You're facts right
Imagination.
about it.
I'll tell you what, this one was really hard to do because I went through 4 drafts of trying to figure out how in the hell am I going to do this story. Because with it being 13 books, I got to come up with something, and
Might be better to write one book and make it as a collection of 13 short stories.
I could do that, but no, I want, like what Crystal said in the intro, epic.
Hi, Chrissy.
Yes, man. Chrissy's in the chat.
The
It's been a while.
Listen.
Listen,
Chrissy.
I don't remember the last time we even said that before.
Hopefully your knee's feeling better.
It's either listen or Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel. Yes, sir.
I just know listen. That's it. I didn't know there was that too.
Yeah,
I know we all need Jesus.
she says Jesus takes the wheel almost as much as she says listen.
Oh, yeah. Especially if she's around me. Well, she says a couple other things too, but not just that. But
She does, but those two are
Just a
more.
little, Chrissy. Just a little.
I was gonna say, I guess I just haven't heard her say it.
oh yeah, dude, it's amazing.
Well, to be fair, she hasn't been on a show in a long time.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
I do know that she did have a Listen Queen show,
Yep,
but that was
about a year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah.
2 years.
Crystal just said it right there. Her other catchphrase, I can't with you guys.
Yes.
That would be yeah.
That is a very common phrase.
You throw me, Scott, and Jason in the same room and chaos just ensues.
So let's talk about the 13th dimension.
Okay.
None of this would be possible without this guy right here.
That's true. He was the brainchild behind it.
No.
So speaking of stories, Scott.
So this guy, you came up with the name. I just came with the podcast.
I came up with the name, but you chose it.
Wow.
And then for some reason, they decided to bring me and Crystal in on it. Even though we were never supposed to be on camera.
Yeah, that lasted all five.
About an episode and a half, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. Crystal's first appearance was when we had Jenny on, and I think that was episode 4.
I was on as a guest for episode 3,
Yes.
I think.
Because we talked about Vlad the Impaler.
I remember that.
That wasn't episode 3. That was when Nick came in.
Yeah, it was. I was going to say that later episode when you talk about
Yeah.
Vlad, and I just remember just being like so amazed by how much you knew about Vlad, Tim. I was just like, at the time, obviously, I didn't know that he was actually part of the crew. I was like, you got to bring this guy back on. He's so knowledgeable about this stuff.
Well, Vlad is kind of part of my past, you know.
Yeah.
Something
You call it your one-trick pony.
yeah, kind of.
One trick pony.
It's just he's the guy from history that I know the most about because I've studied the most about him, and you know, it's just one of those things where I like the dude. He was cruel and he was mean, but he had a way of doing things that reminded me of Gen X, I guess.
Yeah, he had to be, but no, Tim, your first appearance was on the Halloween special.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
When you came up and like that was your first appearance.
Freddy Krueger. I
Yeah.
still have the costume. I still have the mask.
So Scott, why don't you tell us all the story about what was going through your mind when you thought I used to host my own radio show?
You know, for the longest time, I wanted to do a podcast, and I tried to do one. Oh man, probably 6 years ago or so on Wix, and it was called the Paranormal Roundtable. But it was just so hard at the time because I really didn't know a whole lot about podcasts, you know. And I mean, I wanted my first episode was about Sasquatch, was about Bigfoot. Me and my son Matthew actually did a show on Bigfoot. And but it was so hard because unless you plan for episodes and stuff, you really can't do it. You really can't. I mean, trying to come up with everything by yourself. I found that out a second time. So when you asked me to come out of retirement to do some paranormal investigation, that was the one stipulation. I told you that if I come back out of retirement to do paranormal investigation, that you had to do a podcast with me. And you're like, you gave me that. What the fuck did you just say? I said, oh yeah, you know, we got to do a podcast. And you and I agreed to it. And we actually sat down with Sunshine and Misty Pearl. And I think we came up with like 5 pages of stuff to talk about. Dude, I mean, it was a lot.
It was a lot. That meeting was 4 hours.
Yeah, it was like 3-4 hour meeting, dude.
Like I said, they brought Crystal and I on to do a little research and development. We ended up becoming part of the show, and Jeremy had been bugging me for other way.
There you go. There you go.
Jeremy had been bugging me for years to come into the paranormal world, and
I had no idea at that time that you guys even knew each other.
Yeah, you had no clue.
and Scott and I have known each other for God.
I think
30,
20 years at that point.
51. Yeah, it's got to be at least 32 years or so.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time. We've known each other since high school, so he's older than I am, though.
But I'm better looking. And I got more hair.
I have no quarrels. I have no argument there.
He's got you there. He's got more hair.
Yes, he does.
I mean, look, even Nick's growing his out, so
I told
Yeah, I've been growing it out quite the amount.
as a lone bald guy here, I will say.
Actually, Tim,
Not yet. I was gonna say, wait a second.
Tim, in 2 weeks, you will not be the one with the least amount of hair because it's that time for me.
Yeah. But
And I got to tell you, I am ready for this to go.
as the only natural bald man here, as the only follically challenged man here, because you can still grow hair.
Well, I grew my hair out because I couldn't grow any facial hair. So
I mean, I get a long, eyebrow hair or eyelash sometimes gets in my eye, but
Tim, do you remember that joke I used to make about you, about your hair? How you were so smart that your brain swallowed up,
it pushed the hair out of my head.
you pushed the hair out of your head.
I can tell you the truth. I can honestly tell you the truth, and I mean no offense to any of the women here at all. But I raised 3 girls to the teenage years. My hair did not fall out. What I didn't rip out went on retreat.
That's an interesting
right.
way to put it.
Because my son hit 13 and he was just like, yeah, man, whatever, cool. My girls hit 13. It was, oh my God. Shut up.
Now, tell the truth, Tim. Are you still trying to do that?
Still trying to do what?
Still trying to pull hair out, even if it doesn't exist?
Occasionally, I just grab it here and yank.
It
That
kind
used to
of
be much
reminds me of
longer.
that.
Yeah, it used to be longer. I've trimmed it up a few times since, and I'll
Yeah.
probably trim it off again come summertime. I kind of let it go long in the winter because it keeps my face warm. I'm outside a lot for work, and
Tim, I gotta admit,
and Jeremy, I still put the top down on the Mustang. I still let it blow in the wind.
Tim, I gotta say, I mean,
Hair go over you from the windshield?
No, because my head sits up another foot.
No.
You know this.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure I'm the tallest guy here.
you are.
I'm 6'3", so
Yeah, you're the
yeah,
tallest.
and I know I've got the biggest
taller
shoes.
than me.
You, Nick, me, and Scott in that order.
oh no shit!
But God,
I thought I was the tallest. Damn it!
for anybody in the comments that don't know me or don't know why they call me the balded Sasquatch, I'm 6'3", I'm bald. I'm a pretty big guy, and I wear a size 15 shoe.
Tim, I gotta admit, by the way, I mean, what you just said, like when you were talking about the hair pull, it reminds you of that Simpsons episode. That's the reason why Homer's bald, is he ripped his hair out after he discovered Marge being pregnant. I just kept getting flashbacks for that.
Yep. Kids will do it to you. Now I have grandkids. Can you believe that?
Boy.
I'm Pappy now. That's what I should change my name to, Pappy, the rare balded Sasquatch.
I can do that for you.
Be my guest. Be my guest.
Nick knows that I love to change people's names.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
My grandkids call me Pappy Tater.
Wait, Pappy what?
Tater.
Oh, Pappy Tater. Okay.
Oh boy.
So years ago, Crystal got the nickname from her brother, Crystal Pickle, because he couldn't say Crystal when he was really little. He could only say Pickle. So she got the nickname
I
Crystal.
do not like where this is going.
She is Gammy Pickle. Oh, there we go. Scott had to bring up.
He's got one of the wigs.
Hey guys, I'm Scott's twin, Sarah.
Of course it would be female. Now the leg humping seems a little creepy.
Hey,
Scott, you look like you came straight from the 1960s.
Hey,
I was
man.
more 80s, honestly.
80s?
Came straight from the street corner.
There's no time. There's no era for that type of hair. That's always been like that.
You put the lotion on the skin, or you get the hose again.
Little Buffalo Bill
Why,
going,
why does he sound like Andy Warhol?
oh, Adrian said, "Where's the blonde?"
Where's the blonde? I couldn't find it.
I mean,
I was looking for the pink one too.
In this case, blondes do not have more fun.
My
Oh,
wife said I need to borrow that wig, so I
Right.
can.
Role
then
play.
again, Scott said it right. It puts the
I don't
lotion
know.
on
I guess
skin,
role
or else
play or
it gets the
something.
hose
Apparently,
again.
he misses his hair.
Hey, Tim, when I shave my hair off, do you want it?
Hey, it would.
I think we talked about that once.
I will stay gracefully bald.
I was gonna say, can you imagine that?
But it would match.
Imagine if Jeremy actually did give his hair to Timothy Ward. That'd be an interesting appearance.
Well, it would
Oh,
match
look,
Tim's
At
goatee.
this point, so many people know me as being bald. I think I would look weird with hair.
It's not high enough for the 80s.
And it's the exact opposite
Right.
for me. Everybody is familiar with me with hair that sometimes they don't even recognize me. And Tim knows this. I actually got stopped at work by HR because she did not recognize me right after I shaved my head. She's like, "Hey, who are you?" And when I started talking, "Oh, you shaved your head?"
How long you been growing your hair back out, Jeremy?
It was September of 22.
Dang. So 2.5 years, little over 2 years. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And it's that long.
I still remember when he did the special where he was getting his hair cut, and
I do too. Yeah.
yeah, well, and I arrived late because I think before that we were celebrating with one of my family members' birthdays, so I arrived late, and that was after when
He already had 3/4 of my hair off.
yeah, that's when he had most of it gone, and I just like in shock. I'm like, what has she done?
Yeah. And
I'm just gonna grow like this strip really long, where I still have hair, and then I'll just.
no, you
Oh, yeah.
do not want to do that.
Do the old Gene Katie comb over.
And as I do recall, when I shaved my head, I wasn't the only one that did it that night.
Yeah. I did. From my
I would have.
my friend Stacy,
You
who
don't need to.
Yeah, but then let's not forget. Then next thing you know, everybody started pressuring me to shave my head next.
You did.
yeah.
Oh,
my
it's
friend-
like so hard to get him to do it.
I could have shaved this off.
They were even saying they wanted to start like a GoFundMe to get my head shaved.
Yep.
Dude, and you know what? You should have took people up on that. Been like, listen, $500 and I'll shave this
Yeah.
amount, dude.
There was
I'm
an
just
actor
saying-
that actually did that for a movie. It was the Hills Have Eyes remake. There's like one of the mutants who's like, she's like completely bald. She's only like brief in the movie, but she shaved her entire head off because she was going to get paid $1,000 for it.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I should have. Now looking back, yeah, I could have.
Yeah.
Now I realize I
Dude,
could have gotten.
And I'm doing this shit for free.
yeah, bro. I thought I taught
Like-
you better than that.
Jeremy's like, I need to find a rich kid to donate my hair to.
Yeah, Scotty, just like you taught me to go get a lawyer. And then what did we talk about 2 months ago?
That is, yeah.
I kid you not. 2 months, right before Christmas, 3 months ago, about we was talking about workman's comp and everything, and so I asked him, "Do you have a lawyer? Why do you think I need one?" I just went off on.
Yep, he did. He did.
You're the one that told me to get one.
He did. I did.
Yep. Chrissy, oh yeah.
Sounds like everybody.
Yeah. But now I'm back to work and I'm back to work.
How is your bicep doing? What they say about it?
They say it's the biggest they've ever seen. So, 27.5-inch python, bro. No, it's
Full arm.
He wants to have a word with you.
I'm talking millimeter, but no, it's good. I have a slight tear in my shoulder, but nothing that requires surgery. So that's good.
So you got lucky.
I got extremely lucky, but I'm getting older, so eventually I will probably have to have surgery. It's a good thing I'm ambidextrous.
I am not going to ask you.
I think the same thought went through mine and Jeremy's brain at the same time.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Not
not.
like he was cheating.
They call it the stranger. I'm just saying.
It's kind of weird how that kind of travels with us, because I had shoulder surgery back in 18, and then Tim had one 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, maybe 3 now.
That's weird.
I know it was after I had my little incident.
It was 2021.
Hi, Heather.
No, that was before.
Hey, Heather.
Hi, Adrian.
No, I had my shoulder surgery in 2021.
Okay, that was before what happened to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you ended up leaving work about a month or so before that happened.
Yeah, that was before I left Edie's.
So I gotta ask, Jeremy. When I asked you to be on the podcast, what went through your head? Tell me about that, man. I'm gonna hear that.
Oh man, shit, that's been so long. I can't even remember. I do know that I wondered if I would be any good at it. Because I love being interviewed, but I wasn't so sure how I would be as an interviewer or trying to educate on
Right.
certain things like what we had done for some of the episodes. I wasn't really sure how I would do, because I had never looked at myself as an interviewer or um, as somebody putting himself out there like that. Because you guys know me, I don't like that kind of attention. Not all the time. Maybe every once in a while in an interview, I'm good with it, but I never saw myself as trying to do something like that on a weekly basis.
I get that.
Yeah. But that ended real quick.
Oh yeah, dude.
Interviewing people always came natural to me because I was in radio, that's what I did. And so it kind of came natural to me to interview people.
Mm-hmm.
I get way more nervous in shows like this where I don't have anything pre-planned to talk about and I don't have anything set up and I'm just kind of free-flowing with things. And like I've said a million times, this face is not made for camera. It's not made for TV. That's why I was in radio. My voice is good. To this day, I still think my voice is fairly decent to do radio. But to interview people came very natural to me. Being the one being interviewed makes me extremely nervous. That's my one thing I absolutely hated about the Vlad the Impaler episode, was that I just rambled for 2 hours and you guys just had to sit there and listen to me. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not, because that's what it's all about. That's why we get people on who can talk a lot, because then I don't have to fucking talk a lot. I'm just
That
saying.
is why I love having guests on that can go on and on and on, so I can just sit back and
That's what I'm saying. And when you
we
get
had a
somebody,
guest do that to us.
yeah,
We did not get a chance to talk for an hour. Remember that one?
yes. Who was that? Was that Tim?
No. He ended up coming in about halfway through, but that was David Tier,
Yeah.
the backyard ufologist.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. This dude talked like an hour. I think we said like one word.
He just went on.
You know, and what I liked about it all was when you get people like Tim and Nick, these guys that are just so incredibly intelligent. And like I said, you ask them, don't even shake your heads. No, shut up. You know, you ask
The
them a
whole
question,
farm boy.
you ask them a question, and they're going here with this, and they got like 50 different little stories to go along with that. And I'm like, yeah, boy, like keep going. We're gonna get done through this real fast.
I remember when we brought Nick in for the first time,
Dude, that was absolutely amazing.
and
Right.
he was just he was so intelligent and one of the smartest young men I've ever met.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
And literally, like
It was
every time I see
man.
Nick, and Nick will attest this, every time I see Nick, I've got big long arms. I throw my big long arms out and wrap around him because he's just one of the coolest young men I've ever met in my life.
He is such a big teddy bear.
I
that
try my best to be.
that was so random. And I remember at the time, I didn't want to bring him on because we had already been doing the show for 90 minutes. I was ready to get off the show.
Yeah.
But
And
he was
nothing against you, Nick. Nothing at
No,
all.
I know.
It
I
was a
know.
long day. I was ready to go to bed.
I'm sure
Yeah,
you
he
did.
was.
I'm sure you were.
And we brought you on, and
dude, he was just so engaging.
yeah, we ended up having one of the greatest relationships that we've all had.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that was really something special, especially at a time when we were still confined to our homes during COVID, when we weren't
Yep.
able to go out to like our paracons and events and stuff like that. So to be invited on, I was super. And you know what was funny was because I always did this for the longest time. Whenever I came across new podcasts, I always went through this kind of ritual where I would watch at least 3 episodes live when they were on, and then I would contact the show host directly and ask, hey, if you guys ever need more guests, I'd be more than happy to come on if you need, I'd be more interested to do that. And that was going to be my original plan when I started watching this thing. Okay, I'll try and message Jeremy and Scott within 3 weeks or so. But instead, it was just like, boom, like, geez. Well,
You were
that
already on.
We're
yeah,
like,
that got cut
let's bring
short
somebody
immediately.
on. How about you, Nick? You want to come on, man? Send that dude a link. Come on,
That
Nick.
was Toy's idea.
Yeah,
It just came out of her,
yeah.
and you came on that season like 5 or 6 times.
At least. And I still remember when I was suggested to come on. See, I was downstairs here at first, and I didn't have the laptop that I have now, but as soon as I heard that, I literally had to run up all the way upstairs, turn on the computer, and I mean, I was like in a terrible rush, and I'm almost like barging through the basement door. I'm like, sorry, I got a show I got to join.
Yep, I remember that.
But you know, it's amazing because I look over here at the comments and just all the people that we've met through this,
I
the
was just thinking the
the
same.
connections and all the networking. I mean, if you would have asked me this 4 or 5 years ago, had I be sitting here with talking to people, I mean, besides Jeremy and Tim, who I knew, like, would I be talking to Tim or or Adrian or Chrissy or Michael, I would probably tell you no. So this has really just been an amazing thing. It really has.
Yeah, to me, that's been the greatest joy is meeting all the really cool people we've got to meet and making new friends. And uh, oh, my wife just commented something to you, Nick. It says it was one of the best decisions we ever made to bring you on. It's truly a blessing knowing you.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I can say
Absolutely.
the same for you guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Who would have guessed um, what would develop between us?
Yeah.
I never would have thought it that night.
no,
I don't
and
No,
think I would have
absolutely.
either, honestly.
it just sitting here reading comments from people I've never had the pleasure of meeting in person, but getting to read comments from people from all over the world.
Yep.
I mean, that's something special for us guys, and we really appreciate that because people that stay up, like they were saying,
Chantel,
Shan,
Jenny,
Jenny, and them, they're staying up
Joanne.
to watch us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Joanne,
It's,
Nikki.
Joanne, yeah,
Yeah,
Nikki.
I mean, and
very humbling for me, and I'm sure it
Oh,
is for all you
absolutely.
guys.
well, and I also remember too when I first met you guys, this was when it was around the time I was starting to try to really expand, our paranormal community to other countries you would never think twice you'd find, even if they were investigators, people that just had the interest in it.
Yeah. Oh,
And I was able
absolutely.
to do that. And just recently, I'll even throw it at a recent example. I have become really good friends with this one of the very few paranormal groups out in Norway. They have a group that's called Norwegian Ghost Hunters, which I've watched their series. It's a really good show. Yes, it's all in Norwegian, but just seeing another group of investigators like us, in this case, from a rare case like from Norway, and they also go to nearby Sweden too. It just almost goes to show how far we've really in this community worldwide. It's amazing to me.
It really is. When you look at it, I mean, Jenny's from Ireland, you know, Chantel was living in South Africa. She's back over in England. That's amazing. You got Joanne from Canada. You got Nikki from Australia. Y- if
Irene,
it's Irene's in Japan. So to make those connections,
Shane and them were in.
Shane,
Netherlands, yep.
yeah, Netherlands, Shane, yeah,
And
Shane and
And
Samantha. I
let's
mean,
not,
our first ever guests.
yep.
yep.
Mary
And let's
Williamson.
not forget, of course, someone I work with closely now, Lois, obviously from Scotland.
Yes. Yes, Mary Williamson and Shane and yeah, Ravens Paranormal. I don't know if you guys are going to see this, but thank you guys so much for being the very, very first guests on the 13th dimension.
Yeah.
Because with
And we weren't even the ones that set that up.
yeah,
Jeff King was the one that set that up for us.
he did.
And
I remember trying to learn all the nuances and everything too of actually running one of these shows. It can be
Yeah, dude.
producing everything while doing it all and getting the videos to time out just right with the intros and the outro, all
yeah,
that stuff.
those first few weeks were a little challenging for all of us.
It's a learning curve for anybody out there that wants to start doing it on their own. It's a learning curve.
It was, and I think overall we had maybe 2 arguments.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. I At the end of the day, we all knew what we needed to do, and we
Yep.
did it.
yeah, and I know that the original plan was it was just going to be me and Scott, but it just naturally progressed to where you two came onto the show, and I remember a time where we were going to do a rotation where I take 1 week a month off, Scott takes 1 week a month off, and one of you two would fill in for us just to give us that little break.
Yep.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, we're all on.
We're all on. And that, you know what? And I think honestly, that worked out so well, at least for me, because we were able to complement each other and feed off of each other.
We did.
I mean, honestly, I have to say thank you to Tim, uh, because I believe you were the one that reached out to Russell Edwards.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows me, I'm a huge serial killer person. And to be
We all
able,
know why.
I wouldn't know why. And to interview somebody who finally was able to name Jack the Ripper that's
Yes.
something I will never ever be able to top ever, because that was the most amazingest thing. And to see the shawl with the actual DNA on it, dude, I just
And from the last time I talked to him, it's still the only time it's ever been shown on any kind of publication was that one instance that he was on our show.
Now, how huge is that?
actually he showed it. Mary Williamson and Shane had him on the show, and he actually showed it on the show. I seen it.
Good.
But it's just that's just an amazing thing, though. It really is.
We were still the first one though.
It
So
is still absolutely
still
awesome.
taking credit for that.
I was going to say, I
It was
still remember watching.
That was my favorite episode of the show.
I think that was the
I have to
greatest
agree. I'm with
episode
that
of the
too.
show.
That was so good. I mean, it was like I was speechless after I watched it. Even though I was watching when it was live, it was just one of those shows that not only was I just couldn't make any comments about it. It was just like, oh my
Technically,
God.
it wasn't a live show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it wasn't, but you could still comment, when people were watching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just couldn't, if anybody was having a discussion during that, there was just nothing I could say because it was just incredible.
I just remember all of us at one point in time when we were doing that interview, all of us got getting choked up.
dude,
I remember that. Like your face, I can still remember.
With that phone call when you called me right after you were done talking to him.
Yeah.
When we were on the phone for an hour and your voice was still shaking at the end of that hour.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
I
did
had
interviews-
tears. I was literally crying. Yeah,
I still
I've
remember
been-
that. I was
I've
going to
been
say,
extremely blessed to interview some really cool people in my career as a radio DJ, and I'm talking like big names like Prince, Jimmy Buffett, guys everybody in the world has heard of.
Fingerprints. Ooh.
So what? But to this day, that interview to me will always be the best one. It'll always be my favorite. It'll always be the one person I've talked to in my life that really made me feel that emotional.
Yes.
As far as interviewing somebody goes.
And I know that you guys have argued with me on that, but I have always stood by saying that I'm glad I was not a part of that interview because what you guys did with that one was perfect.
I can still remember, like, again, another thing I can recall from that episode was you guys, again, I think my reaction was probably the same as yours, was just, I've never seen a show where everyone's mouths were like just almost drops. Like it was like you guys were the same way. It was like you were just like, oh my God. It was just, I'll
And
never
promoted.
So
I'm not gonna lie to you. I promoted the crap out of that show.
yeah,
We
it
all
was totally worth doing.
before it aired. We all promote. I mean, I remember going in and signing, like going onto Facebook and joining all these Jack the Ripper enthusiast groups and getting absolutely blasted.
Yeah, I remember that, dude.
How many groups did you get kicked out of, by the way?
Four or five.
I kicked out of 4 or 5.
Well,
they must
you
have
know,
really known.
But
That's the thing. These groups, they don't want to know. But going ahead, Tim.
But this is the thing. If you go now and Google who killed Jack the Ripper,
Aaron
it will
Kaminsky
talk
shows up.
about the very story that show talked about. Google now answers that question with his results.
Yep.
So in the grand scheme of things, case dismissed.
Yeah.
Aaron
Yeah.
Kuzminski killed all those women.
And we landed that interview. Bam!
Yeah.
That should have been like a true historic moment of like something that's been almost unquestioned for almost over 100, about almost over 135 years.
Just him.
And Russell would never
that
ask
was
me.
a historical moment.
Yeah.
Russell would never ask me to do this, but if you haven't read his book, buy it. You can buy it directly from him. He's got a website on it. His name is Russell Edwards. He's on Facebook. It's called Naming Jack the Ripper. It's an excellent book. I've read it twice now. and you can contact him directly. He'll send you a signed copy.
That's awesome.
Let's see. I am going to put. Okay, I got the Amazon link.
But yeah, I'm just saying he would never ask us to plug his book for him, but I'm going to plug it right now.
And that was also another beautiful thing about that interview is that he did not once plug his book.
No.
Not once.
Not once. Nope.
I did.
And I think that's one of the most amazing things. You know, this guy wasn't out to sell his book. He was just out to, yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to find his I got his Facebook profile. The website that he's got listed on his Facebook is Jack the Ripper Tour.
Yeah, he also does tours, and he also has a comic series out now.
Really?
Does he?
Comic series.
Yes, he has a comic series out now.
Yeah.
They can do some really cool things with that one.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Well,
He could actually adapt his book into a graphic novel.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
and the truth is, he was such a nice guy to do all that, and he even came on the live and answered people's questions during the
Yep.
show, even though it was so late for him to be up and stuff. So, what an amazing guest! What an amazing person!
And,
That-
you know,
By the end of that show, it was already 3 a.m. for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
yeah, it was pretty late.
Such a nice guy, and
Yeah.
and a really giving guy, and being my favorite book to read of all time is Sherlock Holmes. I've always loved Sherlock. I've watched all the movies. Watched all the TV shows, even down to the BBC stuff with Benedict Cumberbatch. I really have been a lifelong Sherlock Holmes fan. And to me, Jack the Ripper and Sherlock Holmes just kind of went hand in hand. So, it's kind of my favorite serial killer of all time because if I'm not mistaken, the actual Jack the Ripper cases was around the time Sir Arthur Conan Doyle started writing about.
Yeah, just
Yes.
a year prior. It was 1887 that Sherlock Holmes was first written.
Right. And Jack the Ripper was 87, 88.
Yep, around the same time.
So,
See,
yeah.
This is why we bring you two on, because then you guys can have the brainy talk, and me and Jeremy can just sit here and go, okay.
Another one of those cases where
No. But no, Jenny said she got to meet Russell, and he's such a fantastic guy. And hopefully one day I'd get over there because I'd really like to meet
that was
him.
actually recent too.
He's extended an invitation if we're ever there. Call him up and he'll take us on a personal tour.
That'd be amazing.
We-
Hey, I'll be
we
right back.
are doing a 13th Dimension World Tour.
That
Dude,
would be a lot of fun.
I would be down for that.
Yeah, and we'd always said Ireland would be their first stop.
Jeremy, when you strike it rich and hit the lottery, let me know and we'll all go.
I was saying this. I was talking with Jenny earlier, and I was saying to her, I'm not even joking, but ironically enough, my mom's side of the family has been considering about wanting to go to Ireland. So might have to bring my whole family with if that's the case.
You know,
They
I
wanna
would
check
just
out-
love to see the scenery. Just not worry about any landmarks or seeing any specific people.
Yeah,
Just seeing the hills and all the little shacks and everything that
Greenfields.
Ireland.
Shit, y'all know me. Just get me a stool at the pub. We're good.
Somebody was posting a picture.
Pint of Guinness and some shepherd's pie, and I'm down.
Somebody had like a screenshot of England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and showed, okay, here's where all the pubs were at, and the entire thing was covered in red arrows.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. I was actually able to find it last night. I seen it a week ago, and then I saw it again last night. I should have stayed.
I have no problem going to the pub.
Yeah, she says it's green. We have lots of pubs, which I'm not surprised.
Like I said, pint of Guinness and a.
And a lot of people are, and believe me, because I've learned a lot of this from Jenny. Considering we got St. Patrick's Day coming up in less than a week or so away, I actually found here's the old history factor. I think prior to the 70s, they always used to close down the pubs on St. Patrick's Day because everybody drank. But now, of course, they don't do that anymore, and it is actually celebrated in Ireland, like in the downtown areas.
Oh, Jenny. You're making me jealous.
Oh, weekend Irish music, and I'm doing something. I've been listening to my Irish music for upcoming St. Patrick's Day. Just don't have the whiskey with me, and of course you can see it's all green
in my head.
Huh?
I can already hear it in my head.
Well, of course, also let's not forget everything around me is green. Got the shamrocks on the wall, so I'm good to go.
And also, since St. Patrick's Day is now a little over a week away, I think that's also the reason why the gas prices have gone up 40 cents a gallon today.
Oh, yeah, that tends to happen.
No, just talking about holidays, all the crazy stunts we pulled for different holidays and stuff over the years. I saw that in the opening videos and just started laughing and
Irish music, whiskey in a jar. I know there's an Irish song that's actually the very first song I have on my phone, my music list, in fact, by the Dubliners.
That makes me glad I'm not actually going to be on the road on St. Patrick's Day. I'll be in Mississippi.
They might celebrate it down there too.
Well, no, I'm not going to be on the highway.
Oh, on the highway. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Because if there's one day that you don't want to be driving anywhere, it'd be St. Patrick's Day.
No, I want to go to Ireland. Jenny knows I want to come up to Ireland.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go to Canada and see Joanna and hang out with her.
That makes two of us.
Oh, I love Canada.
I was close to Canada last year when I went to the Michigan Paracon. I mean, I was literally like 10, 15, 20 minutes away from the U.S.-Canadian border.
We'll go to the bar. I'll drink a bottle of Moose Head and eat instead of shepherd's pie and Guinness, I'll have Moose Head and poutine.
I just told Jenny this earlier today, but we had there was a guest that was at Michigan Paracon, when I went to last year. I don't know if you guys know who Victoria Monday is.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, she's a really good friend of mine. She's also been a podcaster. She's hosted with Mike Ricksecker in the past, and because they were not too far from the U.S.-Canadian border, they decided they wanted to go to Canada just to see that they showed up. So they went to Canada, and they were probably there for maybe 20 minutes, half hour or so, and it was like midnight. It was midnight. It was like way late at night, and after they were done, they were going to head back to the U.S. Well, unfortunately, because it's just like you see in the southern part of the border, they have like gates and stuff.
Yep.
It's not that easy, of course, to get in and out. And just like those traffic booths you see like on the highways.
Oh yeah.
Where they have like the green lights that say that they're open, red lights are closed. Well, it's the same thing basically with this. They go back and they find every door to the border was closed.
Oh,
They
that's
were stuck in Canada. They were like, you might have to stay the night, but then all of a sudden one of those flashed green, and they immediately got to
that's
the
like a
end,
boulder.
like, you got to go now. And it took a while for them to get back into the United States, because the problem is, especially in this day and age, when you approach either Canada or Mexico, they think you're a returning citizen from those countries. So it's easy to get into those countries, but it's tougher to get back in. So they had kind of a rough time getting back into the U.S. just simply get across the border.
That's crazy.
We used to drive up to Windsor all the time because it's right across from Canada, you know?
Yep, that's where they went. It was near Windsor.
Yeah, right across from Detroit there. And we used to go up there and go past Windsor a little bit and get some beer and then try to come back.
How'd that work out for you?
Most time it worked.
Why am I not surprised?
I don't know what's in your car if you're not drunk and you're not. If you don't give them a reason to search your car, they don't search your car.
It's true.
You don't have to be 19 to buy beer in Canada.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's 19 over there.
Yeah.
The only time I've been to Canada twice, and both times it was to go to Niagara Falls.
That was the other time I haven't actually stepped on Canada. I've just been so close to the border, but just never been over it.
Yeah, being Niagara Falls, it's like
That's right.
it's like Christmas every night. Every building is lit up. Like Vegas. It's like Vegas. Everything is lit up. And
Yeah.
then they have a light show on the falls itself,
Yep.
and that was just so cool to watch.
Never been.
Yeah, I went when I was very young. So we didn't see,
You really should go.
I went when I was very young, but we didn't know at the time that the lights can go on at the falls. But yeah, Joanne said 18 in Quebec, so it's even younger over there. When I was saying GTO said it was 45 minutes away from home. Phone changed saying you were in hell. You use the UK. I'm thinking, when did I leave Ireland?
At one time, it used to be 18 in the States.
Yeah, it used to be.
Yep.
That was a good
To
old
go
days.
back, what Scott didn't mention when we were planning this show is that it was 18 months from the time that he first brought it up to when we actually went live for the first time. It took us 18 months to plan this show out.
I really did.
Uh,
Just trying to get everything in line, and dude, yeah.
yeah, because we knew that with what we wanted to do, we couldn't just do it willy-nilly.
Oh heck no.
Um,
And we got some good help.
bit bad if we did that.
Yeah, it would have been.
And then we ended up putting what several people have told me the greatest paranormal podcast that's ever been.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
It literally saved the network that we were on. The owner told us that.
Yep.
And it just changed a lot of things. It changed a lot of things for us, and it changed a lot of things for people.
Oh yeah, I mean, the
Well, I
one
think-
person that I will always remember that reached out and said, "Thank you guys so much because you pulled me out of a dark place," was Natalie Mosley.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And, you know, the truth is, guys, I mean, we didn't start doing this to change people's lives. We started doing this to have fun and maybe spread a little information, maybe learn something new ourselves. And the truth is, we've learned as much from our audience members and guests as what we've learned as what we've taught other people, if not more. But, you know, the fact that some people did get touched by what we do, and or at least, you know, got to get something off their chest or or have a space to talk about what they were going through in this field without being judged or feeling like they were weird or something. To me, that makes it all worthwhile.
We started this show with the idea of digging deeper into things that are normally not talked about in the field, and generally not thought about when it comes to Q&As. And we did learn a lot.
We did a lot. We did a lot of things to try to make it fun too, I think.
Oh yeah, that was always my biggest thing, was this bringing a comedic side to it.
Well, you saw all the laughing clips from the intro video.
Yeah, because that
Him with doing Marilyn Monroe.
dude, yeah, that was so great.
I was like,
I couldn't, when those showed up, I couldn't help but look at your screen, Tim, of your reaction.
yeah. I was like, really? The second time it came up, I'm like, really?
I gotta bring this up.
I had to relive that twice.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, geez, of things, it's sight for sore eyes. It's nostalgic.
Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome.
Jenny, I am trying to get these guys to come back to the show.
I will admit another thing too, and this kind of goes with what you were just saying, Tim, is of course, going back to when you guys also said when you guys just randomly brought me on. Obviously, from that day on, I knew I was going to be learning something new, and I certainly have learned a lot, since that first show appearance, from you guys. And it's just phenomenal of what I've learned all these years.
Well, Nick, when I decided that I was going to leave for a while, and I talked to Jeremy, I told him he should get a co-host, and it should be you. There was
Right.
nobody else that I brought up. I said, you need to get Nick Moulet. That's the honest to God truth.
Yeah, I never thought I would be doing this again, just from the fact of everything that went down in the past and stuff. But
I was not going to continue.
I really have missed a lot of this because I enjoy. I told Scott I don't have a whole lot of fears. Anybody that's ever met me knows I don't have a whole lot of fears. I'm not afraid of spiders. I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm not afraid of ghosts.
I exposed one of them last night.
What was it again? I can't remember. I have horrible memory.
Having a lot of drinks and no bathroom near you.
Yeah, that is a fear of mine.
I can still vividly see you dancing in the car behind me when
You have no idea, Nick. I had to pee so bad. And to my defense that time, Jeremy, to my defense, it had been hours since I had seen a bathroom.
Oh, I know, but that doesn't change the fact that you doing this while you were driving.
Oh man, and taking some of the medications I take. Anybody that's a diabetic will tell you that diabetes medication is designed to push sugar out through your urine. That's how diabetes medication works. And so yeah, when I'm not near a bathroom, I get a little nervous.
That's why you carry a Gatorade bottle.
But no, well, yeah, I've done that before too.
We've talked about that too that day.
But I have one other fear, and it's it can be pretty substantial. I have very bad stage fright.
Yep.
When I'm on camera, when people are going to see my face, I've always dealt with that.
Let's go to Walmart crust.
She's not lying.
I don't mean to laugh.
She's not lying. When yeah, she's really not lying. But
hold on. This reminds me of another clip the time when Tim was trying to talk, and if we said something, it echoed really
Oh,
good.
oh my God, the echo with
Oh,
Holly.
the echo.
Yeah,
I
The
remember
echo
that
with
one.
Holly.
Sean,
Absolutely amazing.
I was on
and
my
Crystal was
phone.
yelling at me, yell goodbye or something like that, and I echoed my own voice so that there would be a double echo on. He was mad that night because he didn't know what was going on.
Because none of it was echoing on my end, of course.
Yeah, you couldn't hear the echo, but we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew you were mad that night, and she had to explain it to you, and then you got it.
Yeah. I didn't get the joke at first. I didn't know why every time I spoke, they all started laughing.
Look at that. Can't be a once off. We need this again.
Yeah.
It's just, like I say, and I do have a bit fear of stage fright and just being on camera. Sometimes I look at myself on camera because I'm like,
Dude, you see this?
you get a
Tim,
little.
how do you think I feel?
You're still better looking than me.
I do. I just, you know what I'm saying. It's just a matter of something I've always dealt with, and
I mean,
you had every time that you were even when you were doing the interviewing on this show, you have always done extremely well.
yeah, dude.
and
Yeah.
it's really funny. It's really funny to me because I know I can perform. I've done Shakespeare in the Park. I've done in New York, and I've done other plays and stuff in school and things. But I know I can act a part and I can do things. It's just something I've always been self-conscious about, I guess. But I know like Scott's not afraid to tell people he's definitely afraid of spiders.
Yeah, we established that last
The
night.
other people have expressed their fears. I've always come across on camera, anyways, this guy that's not afraid of anything. I just wanted for a bit of new information for people. That's something I've always been afraid of.
All four of us, we have our fears, and we know that, and that's okay.
I don't know. Look
Yeah,
at this.
you guys, Jeremy, I don't even have to tell you my fear already.
Look, I mean, look at this.
We all know your
Yeah.
fear. We all know your fear, Nick. It is very well documented.
Yeah, and Eileen likes to toy with me a lot on that.
You got, there we go. You got this guy over here, big sexy, just spread out on the couch with his green light going on. Wow, chicken, wow, wow.
Actually, no,
Just
I'm
me.
spread out because my back's just hurting a little bit.
Scott, just be glad that his camera is as high as it is, because I actually had to tell him one time to raise his camera.
Dude, that is amazing, dude.
I didn't even think about it at that time. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, because he was wearing shorts.
Yeah, it was during the middle of summer.
Dude, that is. Here, let me tuck that thing. Hold on, my bad, my bad.
Yep.
I wish I had that problem. I'm just saying.
Take me like your lady, Nick.
Uh-oh.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
we've all exposed ourselves a lot on this show.
I've never exposed myself. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're
That
talking
was
Yeah.
another beautiful thing of this show, because we didn't just talk about paranormal, aliens, serial killers. We actually got into some deeply serious stuff.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, and not only that, but we had fun doing it.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about, If you can't have fun with your friends, who in the world can you have fun with?
Yourself.
Exactly. And I missed this. Now don't get me wrong. I absolutely love what I've got with Supernatural Talk.
Oh yeah.
But I need me some 13th Dimension High.
Oh right. And you do have that
Anyway,
I got high once.
that chemistry. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what, Jason Wall,
Uh-oh.
bro?
You're about to be told off, buddy boy.
I got something for you, bro. I got something for you.
We've all seen Scott in the green tutu. I'm just saying.
Yes, we have.
Well, he should come if he's in a green tutu. This would be my basement's the perfect
Yeah.
place because it's all green.
Nick,
Yes, it
you
is.
should be at Scott's house, and Scott should be at Nick's house right now. Right-
In
right
the
in
green
the-
tutu.
That,
do you have a white top that goes with that, Scott?
I can get one. I don't even know where that green tutu's at.
And then let your hair down and woo.
You know,
Did you see Tom's comment?
when the last time I was actually on Jenny's podcast, I actually wore my kilt on her podcast.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I did.
I didn't even know you had one.
Oh yeah, I am actually
Did you have a body part moment?
Every leprechaun has a kilt. We all know this.
motherfucker. I am 39% Scottish.
I was going to say that the kilt was more for Scotland than Ireland.
Yeah,
I forget what the conversation was, but it was when we were talking with the Raven and started mentioning stuff about, I think, Ireland, and I said leprechaun, and he got on me about it. Did you say leprechaun?
he did, dude. He did. I remember that.
I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I mentioned leprechaun. He gave me
Something about, I think it was like me being short or something, dude.
no.
Or Ireland, or I don't know.
It has something to do with Ireland. I remember that because trying to think of something. Maybe it had something to do with the mythologies and the legends of Ireland.
Or places we wanted to investigate, or something. I don't know.
I'll have to see if I can find a longer piece of that clip because I know I had it cut out because I had that when I did like a 10-minute clip session with some of our funniest moments, and that was in there.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
And see, that's probably one of the best thing is just always. I think about some of the guests, and some of them I was just like, that is freaking amazing. Of course, there was a couple of them I was like, yeah, no.
Well, there was that one guest that you guys had while I was out, and we found out like not even a month later that he turned out to be a fraud.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Oh, are we talking about who I think we are talking
Yeah.
about?
Is that
Yeah,
the
that
guy
guy.
that was on the train or whatever?
Yeah.
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 And then we had the one. There was another guest. There was a couple of guests that I just didn't care for their style, I guess.
Right.
But you know, for the most part, I think some of the people that
Robert Murphy was one of my all-time favorite guests.
Robert,
Robert's always been one of my
Barry
favorites.
Fitzgerald, he was really fun to interview.
I tried to do that Irish accent.
That's the one. That was the one. One of them that I missed was Barry Fitzgerald because we were actually camping that weekend.
That was funny
Yeah,
too. Because
yeah,
I was the same. That was the same day where we had him on another show I used to co-host with. That was when we were on the old network, and I even said that he will be on later tonight on 13th Dimension. So in a way, we're just taking a break. Yeah, it was like in a way he's just taking a break before he comes back on. And then when you guys went on, I'm saying, well, we're now back with Barry Fitzgerald.
I completely forgot about. Carl Johnson. We had him on.
Yeah, Carl was
Carl
great.
Johnson, yeah.
Yeah.
I follow Carl on Facebook.
Yep.
I actually have a list.
Who's the other Carl? Carl Albertson.
Yeah.
Carl Albertson,
Yep.
yeah.
I used to love talking with him too.
He has that voice like you do for radio. He's
Yeah.
just got a voice. You know.
And what's funny, because if you remember a while back, Tim, I mean, I remembered that I was putting that audiobook series together, which I'm still working on a new series. Speaking of which, again, I just got to go back to previous audiobooks that need to be repaired. But I already made a promise for myself that this next series, I'm going to include either those that were originally supposed to be part of the first series or like those that just didn't get the chance. And Carl's definitely among one of them, but I was also going to try to get you back because you didn't have the first opportunity.
Hey, yeah, because I split my head open.
Right. Yeah. So that had to be
A
given
bunch
to
of bones
someone
in my
else.
face and couldn't speak for a month.
Right. So yeah, that was just
Yeah,
That was really nice.
Tim and I talked.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
I was
you
going to
did.
say what?
Yeah, you did.
Let's see.
Hmm.
Oni Pack, he's always a pleasure.
Oh yeah, they're great. He's great.
Yeah, Ernie
Yep.
and Denise and
Ernie and Denise.
Rick McCallum.
Yeah, and there was that one time when
Nah.
there was that one night too, Jeremy, that I can recall that you weren't available, so you let it to me.
Yeah.
And what was kind of ironic was I was at the Michigan Paracon when that was all.
I was in Wildwood.
Yeah, you were in Wildwood. I was in Michigan, but yet I was still willing to try to do the show the best I could. And that was, I think I can recall, that was probably my very first time I think I ever truly interviewed an actual guest on my own this time because I remember I was nervous when that happened, and Ricky was at that event too, and I know Ricky had some experience, so I had to get some help from him, at first to try to figure out how I could do this,
Right.
and then afterwards he had left, and before you know it, I was able, even though I didn't have like a whole list of questions like right in front of me, I just knew that best thing I could do was just try my best, and it was still a success whatsoever.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Yeah.
Scott had a local radio guy come on one time, but
Hey, Zach Schuyler.
yeah,
Yeah, but his radio, his
his
internet
was
was just,
really
yeah. Yep.
yeah, we've all remembered the internet connectivity problems.
Oh, that's what also happened to me in Michigan was I was trying
Tim
to get
has that problem.
I was trying to get into the
I got that
studio,
fixed.
and it was trying to get into the studio, and I couldn't get in, and I started panicking because of that because I didn't want to be late and keep Rick waiting, and we had to move to a different part of the casino so I could have better connection. The spot where we eventually chose. All I got to say is I was so glad nobody was sitting there because if there were people that were sitting in that spot, I think I would have been in a lot of serious internet trouble then because I didn't know where else I was supposed to go.
Right.
we all ran into that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, doing this show, from my point of view anyway, I feel like I've been truly blessed to get to know not only my friends better, but everybody else. I mean, literally, it's been a real blessing to get to talk to the people that we've got to talk to.
Have we ever, Jeremy, did we ever interview just Adrienne
Strippers.
by herself? Or is she just Adrienne?
I had her on the show one time.
Did you?
Yeah, it was just me and her. And what we were talking about for that episode was our experiences with autistic children.
Okay. Because I didn't think we did, but I remember her coming on with a co-host, but I was like, man, so that's one person. All right.
Yeah, I had her on myself one time. And then it was actually the episode that you tried to have Zach Schuyler on.
Right.
When his connection got bad, so Adrienne came on with you.
She did. That's right.
And I came on. And this was right after I got home. My mouth was still wired shut, and I was trying to talk to you guys.
Yep. Yep. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh shit! I'm looking at this list of all these amazing people that we had on the show. Ryan Seymour.
Ryan Seymour was a good one.
Ryan, for those who don't know, is the one that made the 13th Dimension theme song.
Yeah, he did.
Jeremy, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes, that.
My wife doesn't want to get on camera, but maybe she'll let you hear her voice.
Give me a minute.
She said, "Give her a minute."
I just heard it.
I barely heard her. Yeah.
Oh, I heard her.
Yeah, she's trying to make some medicine, some Theraflu. You got to heat it up.
Yeah, it's not a 13th Dimension show without her involved in some way.
Right.
But usually she was in the background yelling at us.
I remember towards the end of the show, 20-minute warning, 10-minute warning.
Because you guys needed a chaos coordinator.
She wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong.
We heard that.
Uh-oh, look.
Because
Oh,
you guys
she's showing up.
Hi, Crystal.
Hey.
Hi, guys. I'm
Love
enjoying
you.
it a little bit, but I can't guarantee how long I'm going to last.
Love you.
Hey, just that you're being here with us, that's a great thing.
I've been watching in between my trips to the lovely bathroom.
What'd I tell you last night?
Huh?
Nothing. I have insomnia. It comes with the.
Oh, is that what it is?
illness.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll be over tomorrow. You'll get plenty of sleep.
Yeah, I've been sleeping just fine. That ain't been an issue. It's keeping me awake.
I know.
Yeah, insomnia really sucks. I had it real bad over the last couple of months. I think I finally got past that. So I can relate to you on that. It sucks.
I have to give a shout out to just the people that have continued to follow the 13th Dimension podcast. I mean, there's been some dedicated people to it from
Yes.
day one, day two, you know.
That
And
guy.
Yeah, Nick Moulet.
It was just a
know.
random.
Yeah, just some
was-
random guy.
It was some random dude. We're like, we're gonna bring that dude on, and he absolutely killed it. I was like,
Make you a star.
damn.
Yeah.
And
But no, we do. Everybody that makes a comment over here, we read it. You know,
Or try to.
Or we try to. We try to make sure we involve everybody in the show. It's one of the things that we started when we started off. We said we were going to do is make it interactive, make it fun for the people talking. Pull your comments up on the screen. Talk about your comments. It's one of the things that that I've always enjoyed most of all is, hearing what you guys say over here on the side and reading it and getting to know you as you get to know us.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Coming in wanting to do a paranormal podcast, I don't know crap about the paranormal. I just wanted to talk to people because I'm a very social butterfly. I'm just saying. And if you've ever met me, I really am. I'm one of the craziest people you ever meet. I will make you laugh all night long if you
We
hang
can
out.
all vouch for that.
Yep.
I'm just
I
saying.
just want to know why we never had an episode now, knowing how much Scott loves karaoke. Why we didn't just have a Scott karaoke night?
Listen.
Listen, I'm
All that video that you posted last week of him.
Of all the
one of
videos,
many.
you had to post me singing karaoke. You had to do me doing Ghetto Boys of all the ones.
I just grabbed one of them. I have like 6 of them from that night.
Dude, I'm watching it. I'm like, what the?
Oh,
I'm
wait,
saying the N word. I'm like,
I know that's the first thing I heard. I'm thinking,
I didn't even listen to the audio. I just seen you singing. I was like, that's it. And I just threw it up in my post.
you might want to go back and check that one.
I might. Maybe that's why my Facebook's been a little wonky lately.
As
I'm
much
flagged.
as this is not a face for television, this is not a voice anybody should hear sing.
I don't know. When you
Wow.
sang YMCA, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Always, man.
I'm just kidding. It
It wasn't YMCA. It was in the Navy. Yeah.
In the Navy.
You guys ought to hear because I'm surprised we haven't done that karaoke night because I've done karaoke too. So I'm
Yes,
surprised
you
we haven't
have.
put it together
Yes, you
yet. And you saw again from last year's Michigan Paracon. I performed like 3 times with just this incredible metal sounding voice that I had. Although the sad part was, not surprisingly, a few days after that, my voice was in terrible condition.
When you sing heavy metal, Nick, it is always like that. And
I
that's
basically turned what's just a normal karaoke performance literally into like a rock concert performance.
The only thing I can sing successfully is really old country.
that would be a great special. Nick. No, seriously.
Oh, really?
Paranormal karaoke, where we're all on live, and the audience helps us choose a song to sing. I'm
that
just
would be
saying.
a fun twist.
That
As
would
long
be
as it be a song I know what to sing, so I know exactly how I'm supposed
Well,
to sing.
yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as I know something I could sing. I mean, I do rap, country, R&B. I really do. All you gotta do is play some
Show tunes.
Richard Marx for Jeremy, and you'll be fucking good.
I can do Amish Paradise.
I've
actually done that in karaoke before.
Scott and I actually talked. I had this idea of doing our own version of a Weird Al thing where we take old songs that we grew up with and rewrite them about being old. Remember I talked to you about this, Scott?
You did, but I don't know how to write. I mean, I know how to write. I just can't write.
My thing was like, my first thought was like Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. My thought was, whoa, I made it halfway there. Whoa, I'm stuck down in my chair.
If you need a writer, Tim, I'm your guy.
Just take old rock and roll songs and make them about being old.
Joplin.
Janis Joplin.
No, I
Dude,
don't.
I gotta hear this.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Baby,
I can't do karaoke anymore. My throat won't handle me singing much anymore.
You don't have to talk dirty, baby.
On maybe for a year
Turn me on.
you're singing, but I cannot do it anymore.
If I try to sing high, it comes out sounding like Eric Cartman.
We had someone at one of the after parties of the Paracon who intentionally sang like Cartman. It was
you need to do the Cheesy Puff song then.
There was also there was one time, in fact, where
my brother does a perfect Eric Cartman impersonation.
God damn it, you guys!
He does. Kevin really does.
Yeah, his voice is a little higher than mine, so he does it a little better than I do.
What's funny is all this talk about karaoke. When I was again at Michigan last year, there was one song in particular I really want, not necessarily metal, but it still had the heavy rock sound. It was by Neil Young, in fact, the song "Rockin' in the Free World" from the late '80s. And this was going to be my first time singing it, but I decided I was going to wait till the final night of the event instead of the night before. And what I did was I decided to practice a little bit because nobody was in the hotel room with me. So I went upstairs and I practiced. And just to make sure that I wasn't being too odd, I headed to the bathroom just to put more walls around me. And I was able to sing it really well. And then I actually sang it the next night, which was recorded. And after I was done with that, next thing you know, I ran into one of the big names, Brian J. Cano, in fact, from Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Right.
And he's with this woman that I've never seen before. First, Brian's like complimenting, telling me great job, that kind of thing. And this woman that's with, it's like, you're the guy that was singing in your room the other night, weren't you?
Dude, that is great, man.
I thought those rooms were soundproof.
Clearly, they're not.
Chris always gets on me for singing in the shower.
Because you do it when I'm trying to sleep.
Sorry.
And you're holding a whole concert to the whole neighborhood. Yes.
I've really wanted to do more karaoke even from home. But the problem is that my family's, usually here. And of course, now we got our niece, she's probably either sleeping. So it makes it very difficult for me to have that chance.
Listen,
I haven't gone karaoke and
I get drinks in me. I come home and sing karaoke. I don't care if I wake my whole house up. you're gonna suffer. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of things. If you get drinks into Scott, you find out a lot of new things about Scott.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Imagine what it's like being with him drunk at a bonfire.
Well, that ain't nothing. We've been
I'm
drunk
not
on
even comp-
boats. We've been drunk in houses. We've been drunk at bonfires.
Yep.
We done some pretty stupid crap.
You know,
And I'm sure there's more to come.
now it basically tells me that all these bonfires I used to go to when I was younger, which, you know, and I never took part of it, but there was underage drinking involved at bonfires. But that's telling me that that's nothing compared if I was to experience that with Scott.
I really
I feel you're taking part of that, Nick.
Well, no, I mean, I was there. I just knew better than to buy the alcohol, obviously, if they were under 21.
I really enjoyed that bonfire I went to with you guys over at Scott's neighbor's house.
Over at Mason's, yeah.
Yeah. I had a real good time.
I got a fire pit in the backyard, guys. Anytime.
But
You got neighbors. I don't.
Yeah, that's the difference. So it's got to be at Scott's house.
Scott can build a big fire. I can only build a little one.
Bonfires have to happen at Scott's because there's nobody else around. If you're doing inside
And I can go
karaoke
pee,
singing and
and I
stuff,
can
you
go
can do it
pee,
here.
and I can go pee behind the silo.
You know, dude, absolutely. I mean, we can sing karaoke outside too. Remember, my speaker is Bluetooth.
That's true.
Here's another Nicole, another guest that we've had on the show.
Yes, Nicole.
I think we were her first interview.
I was her what?
I think we were the first show that her and her sister came on as a guest,
Oh, right on.
if I remember that right.
Oh, hey, Nicole.
I don't even remember how we got half of our guests. I know Tim got Russell. Scott, I think you're the one that got Rick.
Rick McCallum?
Yeah. Was that you, Scott?
No, I think it was Crystal.
Mm-mm.
Crystal, then it had to be Tim.
I didn't reach out to anybody for guests. You guys lined the guests up, and then I would go through and research them. If they wrote a book or something, I would try to read it before they came on the podcast to let you guys know this is what's in the book. These are the cliff notes. I was always kind of the back half of the house.
You
trying to
were.
feed you guys. And then you guys were like, hey, why don't you come in and join us? And then before I know it, I start appearing on more and more and more and more podcasts.
Yeah, you did. Oops.
I-
No, not you.
I still have the little scripts that you wrote on
Oh, no.
on this group page here that we have. I still have all of those things on here. There's even one that you wrote about Samhain, and you even wrote in parentheses how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Yep. Because you guys kept saying it wrong. I'm like, listen, we're going to get ridiculed. This is how you say it. Hooked on phonics.
I remember that.
That Halloween episode that we did was really
That was
so
a
much.
rare one. Even with Scott's special zipper malfunction.
Yeah.
You know, and Mary Williamson still talks about that.
Oh, my God, she does.
And
Not only that, but the
that day. Well, her and Jenny both.
part of that I remember is the people, I can't remember their names now, from England that were on that Halloween special, the couple.
Brett and Emma.
Brent
Yeah.
and Emma.
They
Forgot
they
about
kept
them.
trying to say Haribo, but it kept sounding like Harry Balls.
yes. But and
You
that
remember
dude,
that?
that
They were
dude,
like, what kind of candy is this?
that
To
dude from
be honest, I
Texas.
almost forgot about Brett and Emma.
Yeah, that dude from Texas. I
Scott.
can't remember. Dude, I don't think he knew how to take us or take me anyways, because he was like,
I don't think he had a good time. think we were a little over the top for him. Jenny was just eating it all up and just
Oh yeah,
on into it.
Jenny and Mary. Yeah, dude, they were all
Because
about.
Another dude.
when Scott showed that picture of the zipper thing, those two were laughing so hard. I thought, okay, these two are done for the
Yep, yep.
And I'm gonna swear, because I never saw Scott in that actual makeup. But my first thought when I saw that picture was, now we really know your little fuck face.
Yeah, dude, you ain't lying.
what was that? Peanut butter and strawberry jam that you used to do that?
It should have been because it probably would have looked better.
What
It
was
was a
it
kid.
It was a kit with you like a cover up.
Artificial
Massive.
skin.
Yep,
Like,
and that was supposed to be fake blood, and it clearly didn't work out that way.
No. Yeah, it turned out to be something entirely different.
And completely different.
Yeah.
Part of me is wishing right now Jeremy was looking for that photo.
Oh, I can grab a screenshot of it, but I don't know if I really want to show it on this show.
it's already been shown. If
It's
you
a-
want to see
hey,
it, go back and watch the Halloween episode, probably around the middle towards the end of it. That's about where it lands.
Yeah,
In case you all did not hear
that was a long episode too.
or
That was
see,
So,
the Bell Mansion is closing or changing.
It
ownership.
is.
Yep.
Seriously?
read about that.
Oh man, we were going to be going back there at some point.
Yep. So, sad, but congratulations to Angie Strum. I know this is something she's thought about.
she said
so-
that there's something else in the works to keep watch.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm
Absolutely.
assuming there's another property already kind of hanging in the distance. I don't know if it's going to be paranormal or not, but
I'm pretty sure that she would be pushing
kind of
something that-
might be open to it. But
and there are locations here that have stuff weird going on.
yep.
Yep.
That's another thing that I missed when we first started the show. The first 5 minutes, we were telling the news. You remember that, Scott?
Say it again.
The first 5 minutes of each show, we were telling the news before we brought the guest in.
We would. Absolutely. By the way, if you've had a birthday or anniversary this week, happy belated birthday, happy late anniversary. If you got one this weekend, happy birthday.
Yeah,
I know.
every
I
show.
actually have a list of all the Things members and the show hosts. We just had a birthday a week ago.
That was me.
Jan and Jennifer Lee.
yep, Jennifer's was
And
just
early that week was mine.
Yep.
And then the next one that we have isn't until the 14th, and that's Joe.
Which he wants to do a special show for his birthday. In fact, he's like inviting all of us.
Oh, that reminds me. Tom had sent me a whole bunch of pictures.
Uh-oh.
Tom Nelly or Tom McNicholas?
Yeah, Tom McNicholas.
Oh, okay. Oh God! Oh, if it's coming from him, oh God, no! I know the actions are probably going to be.
Oh,
I remember the first time I met Tom at the Fort Wayne DeadCon. He was such a nice guy. I really liked
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, he was a really good dude.
He and I were just doing a show together on Cat Hobson's show last week.
And I introduced him to Mr. Muley there to Oli's Pizza.
Yes, that. Oh my God, that stuff was good.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to save one piece for Tom's. Like, and I even said to him when I got back, because he was already asleep. I'm like, Tom, you wake up the next morning. I know this should be more something for lunch or dinner, but you got to try this. This is
Yeah.
so damn good. No, wait. I don't think he was sleeping, but he was. He decided to stay, but it's like, you got to try this.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I'm really surprised you don't have a best of the 13th Dimension reel.
He did.
He did at the beginning of the show.
That's what it
It's
was.
5 minutes long.
Oh, well, it didn't come up. I went to 13th Dimension page and there was nothing there. Then I had to
It's
scroll down
For
the
whatever
not
reason,
broadcasting on the
it's not streaming. I don't know why. I haven't had that issue before. So I have no idea why it's not streaming on that channel. That pisses me off too.
So you remember all the sages, Jeremy and Scotty? My sister's dog scared the shit out of us.
I remember that.
Well, you guys met at the Bell Mansion. Wow, check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't
Absolutely.
remember that. With her dog, I don't remember that one.
No?
No, I don't. I remember having them on,
Yeah.
but I
Very
don't
tasty.
remember that particular thing.
Well, yeah, if I also just saw Nicole and the other Wicked sisters just last year at Parapsychon in Ohio, which we had a great time hanging out together. So,
I am Tom. I am not showing these pictures.
oh God. Oh, okay, good. Whatever those pictures he's talking about, good.
No, it's gender reversal pictures.
Oh,
Oh,
God, those
Jesus.
pictures.
Gremlin.
No, I am not showing those pictures.
Yep,
Oh,
yep, yep. Yeah, I know which pictures he's referring to. That he must. It's those pictures
Yeah.
we took down in Alton, Illinois.
Crystal, there is a second best of that I put together for the outro for today. That one's only 3 minutes long.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you don't have a best of. I know you too well, York.
Yes, too.
We
I'm
sure
surprised
did,
half
Nicole.
the show isn't just that.
Yeah, just in the replay, just go back.
He showed me twice doing the Marilyn Monroe thing for Scott's birthday.
You know, I almost reposted that again for Scott's birthday this year, but I was like, I better not.
Oh, speaking of Scott's birthday, I was pissed off. I made this little banner for him, and I was trying to post it on your page, Scott. I was actually on your page, post on Scott's page. I put it on there, hit enter. It shows up on my page.
I remember you saying that, and I'm like, oh, no.
I did it 3 times before I finally gave up. I don't
I have
know
no,
why that happened.
I have no idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Scott has an evil twin sister named Sarah. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen Sarah because I told Sarah to give you her hair.
Yep.
That's right.
That's okay. In 2 weeks, I can give Tim my hair.
There you go.
That you can.
And
Just put it on.
the funny thing is, I've
Gorilla
actually
Glue.
had somebody ask me to give her my hair when I cut it all off one year.
I think Nick missed that.
I'm going to take Jeremy's hair and Gorilla Glue on Tim's head.
You know, I
I'm gonna be
still
there.
have that Gorilla Glue can that Brad bought me at Perry Unity. I still have that to this day.
Did you ever use it?
No, I haven't even used it yet. I don't know what to use it on.
Tim's
Now we
head.
know.
Tim's head and Jeremy's hair.
Kind of looks like a cantaloupe, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, see, he's already got the line on his head, so just stay inside the line.
If it's in a can like turtle wax, I can just like buff
I was
it
going to
on.
say, yeah, or just put Gorilla Glue on it. He'll never lose hair again after that.
Right.
I'm a JB Weld guy myself.
Well, and as I always keep saying, you know, he should actually do that and then sue the hell out of Gorilla Glue for it, because in the end, it doesn't say on the warning label, don't use glue. I mean, don't glue with your hair, or don't glue hair on it.
Yeah.
It probably does now that they got sued by that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lady who did it before that, and look what happened to her.
Oh Lord.
There was I think I might have said this joke multiple times. There was a podcast that said that. He's like, yeah, there was a lady who did it. She's famous. And they're like, well, she's infamous.
Infamous. Yeah, no. Right.
I can't imagine what goes to. At what point do you think I'm going to put Gorilla Glue in my hair?
Well,
Probably if her weaves came out and she needed it put back in right then, and that's all she had that she knew would keep it attached.
Yep.
She said now since then she can't use any chemicals in her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
I'm
chemicals
sure.
at this point. And it's gotten even to the point that, not surprisingly, even SNL has made a parody on that too.
They make
I'm just saying, if you're gonna put Gorilla Glue in your hair, go ahead and use gum to try to get it out.
Yeah. As they in the segment of SNL, they were like, every day as many as one people fall victim to using Gorilla Glue as a hairspray.
They would have worked in the '80s. They would have used Gorilla Glue to keep.
Oh, I'm
their
sure they would have, especially for those crazy hairstyles they had back then.
Aquanet
Oh,
was
that was a lot of Aquanet then.
Yeah, it was.
Although I don't think Gorilla Glue came into existence until like the 90s. I think it's only been around for 30 years.
Yeah.
And there was
No idea.
a guy who said that when he was younger. I think he said it was like in the 80s this happened, and not to get too graphic, he actually had 2 of his fingers cut off at one point. And this was one of the guys that started the jokes with Gorilla Glue. So I was like, well, you should have used Gorilla Glue to glue them right back on. And the response he gave is like, they didn't have Gorilla Glue back then, man. I predate Gorilla Glue.
And now
Right.
they've come out with all of these, the strongest tapes in the world. They had the Gorilla
Yep.
tape. Then they came out with Alien tape. And now
Yep.
we have a Tyrannosaurus Rex tape.
Oh,
Which
jeez,
I have,
really?
Yep.
Yeah.
1994 is when Gorilla Glue came
Yeah,
came
that's
out.
what I meant. It was like over 30 years. And okay, and also just so you know, Jeremy, I just received those same exact pictures that Tom sent.
Yeah.
I got it too.
I'm sorry, Tom. I cannot in good conscience show those pictures.
You showed me in drag. Jeez.
Yeah, it's definitely from when we were down in Alton.
Okay, touche, Tim.
Yeah, I've worn lots of hats on this show.
Oh, I've got videos of Scotty that make Scott blush. He's already done told me if I show anybody else. So help me God, he's coming for me. You know what night I'm talking about?
I know what night
Yes,
you're
I
talking.
do. When no dude come to the house.
Yep.
Yep. That was great.
Well, to say Scott is interesting to see in a bikini.
Yep.
I kind of rock it.
Say that again, Crystal.
He's interesting to see in a bikini.
He's also very pale.
It's winter, bro. Fuck.
But he rocks it with cowboy boots.
You know, there are some points of the day where I am so glad, or I wish I'm not wearing my hearing aids.
Yeah, because now you're going to dream about it.
You know what, Scott? If I do dream about it, I am writing your ass into a story.
My
Yeah,
gay
like-
cowboy friend
It's
Scott.
Nick. I wrote Nick a story.
Yes, you did. And that just
Me, I'm just gonna say blue floral is definitely Scott's color.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I am writing this down.
I filled it out pretty well.
With Tim Socks.
So, still happened.
We
They
burnt
were-
those, right?
These are pictures and videos
haven't
when
touched
they
it.
see the light of day, right?
Them socks were kind of crusty, though. I don't know.
Ew.
I was kind of worried.
Foot fungus, bro. Foot fungus.
Yeah, is that what it is? Okay, it's your story.
Hey, 1 sec.
Hey, we don't want to see it now. I'm just saying.
Time for a bathroom break.
No, you already went and did that. Nicole, it's saved on my phone. It's stuck in my head.
I wear these all day long.
You forget who I work for? Me too.
I just now realized we are 2 hours into the show. It only feels like we've been on for 10 minutes, and not once have we heard Max.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised we haven't. heard
Max is a little calmer. Max is the only dog we have. right now.
That he is.
Michaela moved out. She lives with her boyfriend. They bought a house, so they took Yogi.
Come here.
What
And-
was the one that was always trying to climb on me when I was over there?
The little one?
Yeah, it's like the furry dog.
Yeah, he was like a brown,
here.
like a
Come here.
reddish brown.
Yes.
Yogi.
That's Yogi. He went with Kayla because he was Kayla's
Come
dog.
here.
Yep.
So
Okay.
he went with her, and now we
up,
just have
up.
Max.
Come on.
Reese went to live with Mason
Come
and
on.
his girlfriend at their house,
Yep.
which was Maddie's other dog that was here.
Come on.
So
Yeah,
we just have Max
on.
left, and then we have 2 cats.
The one time I don't want this dog to jump up on me. The
That's
one
your
time
own damn fault.
Well, okay, there's your lesson right there, Tim.
Yeah.
When
Come
you don't want him to jump on you, ask him to.
You're welcome, Nicole.
Yeah,
I'm actually.
I wanted to read what Nicole said that it was not with her head.
Yeah, that's a nightmare, isn't it, Nicole?
Thank goodness it never entered my head.
I appreciate that, Nick.
Now we've had I don't know if you noticed, Crystal, but we've had some people saying this cannot be just a one-off.
Yeah, I was watching some of it and listening, and like I said, in between my trips back and forth.
Yeah, you guys got to come back.
Just life has been so chaotic.
Yeah.
That it is.
Oh, I know. It's like
Little
everything
man must
all
have been
four of
out.
us all at one time.
He sounds horrible, so he's back in bed.
Mm.
So you hear him?
Yep.
All four of us got hit with something within a 3-month period.
Like I said, we have 2 grandkids now, and they take up
Hey,
a
me
lot
too.
of our free time.
We've had kids moving in and out,
Mhm.
and in and out, and in and out. 2 grandkids. Tim's mom passed away. His brother came home from prison. We've been dealing with that.
Yep.
And I've been sick a lot. There's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I stayed 2 years ago. I was in North Carolina for 5 weeks helping my daughter with my grandson. Now they live here. Jeremy, you've been dealing with all the stuff with, your injuries and all that. And then Nick, you had the brain bleeds. I mean, life is just,
It's
we're
been
getting
rough.
old and life is kicking our ass is what the problem is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
really.
I
it
said
is.
at the beginning,
That it is.
he showed a video at the beginning, and you can really see the change in my facial accessories over the years.
Well, I was actually watching the first hour of the first show of season 2. And Crystal was talking about the length of my hair from the first time we did the show at Perry Unity
Yep.
to how it is now. And I'm kind of going back there, and I see the difference in Tim's beard.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how things change, and it's not always physical.
Yeah.
Well, in
We
a
both-
way, I've also kind of changed a little bit too, because again, since the brain bleeds and stuff, I mean, I've been exercising on a regular. I've been starting to find. When I had my birthday celebration, obviously you kind of had to cheat, but I've been getting back on track, and since then I'm officially back, and I've lost almost 30 pounds.
Dude, that is
It's a
amazing.
requirement to
Yeah,
cheat
man.
on your birthday.
I know
pretty
after-
much.
Thank you, Nicole.
After I had my strokes in 2019, I lost, how much weight did I lose?
I don't know.
Almost 80 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, I was 305 at my heaviest, and I'm 225 now. So
Yeah, I've seen Tom. I've still friends with
Yeah,
Tom.
he had issues
He's
himself.
had issues. I mean, I see a lot of people now that are struggling with a lot of different things. People from the paranormal that I still communicate with, and I'm still friends with.
I used
And
to-
it's crazy all the stuff that's
It is.
going on.
I used to joke with my mom, because my mom would always tell me when I was growing up, say, "You're going to regret that when you get older. You're going to regret that when you get older." So I used to joke with her before she passed. I would say, "Why didn't you ever tell us this was going to get worse when we got older?" I told you that a million times.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Yeah, I just got it too. I'm wondering what this is.
I mean, I'm not old enough to be just sitting around talking about the weather all the time yet, but
I am.
it's getting there.
So what do we have here? It's a snapshot.
Yeah, Jill got a screenshot of us.
Just waiting to see what she's typing because she's still typing right now.
Is she?
Yeah, she is. It's obvious she's gonna give a description of what this picture is supposed to be.
Well, I will share this so that you guys can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. She just said screenshot of the 13th Dimensions OG Cruise 100th episode. Oh, damn. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good picture, actually.
Right on.
Yeah, I like it. Thanks, Jill.
Yes, thank you, Jill. Appreciate you. Could have got my good side though. Golly.
Well, switch
Now we're
places.
all in different places. What?
Yeah,
I don't know where to look.
It acts a little bit differently compared to StreamYard, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I still miss StreamYard, but after with what it was asking for, it's just like forget it.
Scott, what is that?
What is what?
What you just sent me?
That's a picture of us.
Oh wait, damn it! And I was just about
Look at that picture.
about to see what it was,
Look
but
at that picture.
I took that picture.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
literally about to see what that picture was, but my phone died, obviously, so I got to check on my computer.
What the what?
Oh my gosh, jeez! You put your phone right in front of your face for it.
Well, what else am I supposed to do? I could block my face out. You ain't got to see mine.
Here we go.
I'm gonna go you. See? When you do it, that's how it's going. Look at that. Oh, don't worry. I already got it. See?
Here you go.
That's
Now
a
you
picture.
can get it.
That's a good picture. Hi, Bubby.
No.
You're covering your face. Mine is blurred out.
That's your fault. You shouldn't have moved.
How do you
I'm
know
sitting
what's
there
going
looking
on?
like Sloth from the Goonies.
Oh, now I took himself offline.
No, you look like Sloth anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we can't even see you now.
Yeah, now you have the camera off.
I told you this is not a face for the camera.
Well, I was kind of...
Wanted to get a shot of us before when night. Great bunch. Here we love you. Yeah, thank you, Jill.
I know it
Yeah.
doesn't. It
There you
doesn't.
go.
feel
This is
any-
our faces for the rest of the evening.
Hold on. One
Never
second.
mind our computers. There you go.
But yeah, what Scott was talking about earlier, when everything is happening, he was asking me to bring Nick on before he suggested that. He was encouraging me to keep going on with the show, and I was adamant. I was not going to continue the show on without you guys, because it wasn't right to do that.
But it was. I mean,
We're glad you did.
yeah.
Well,
It was never a problem with the show.
no, like what you said, there was a lot of really bad things that was happening at that time,
Yeah.
and it wasn't anything bad between the four of us.
No.
So that's what the audience needs to know in case there was ever that impression. There
A
was
real reason why the two of us decided to back off was we had gotten accused of some stuff, and
Anybody
we weren't.
who's in the paranormal field and takes any of this and really dives into it like we all have, and most people who watch this do, you realize that there is, much like in today's world with the political stuff, there's a lot of drama and a lot of BS that happens within the paranormal, and it's very cliquey. It's very I am right, you're wrong kind of thing. Nobody tries to hear the other out. Nick is always pushing para-unity.
Yes.
And I truly understand what he means by that, because we all work together and shared things instead of keeping things. And we tried to put our guards down and work as one. Look how much further the field would advance, but we don't
And
do
not only
that.
that, but we also need to learn to take
I'll be
constructive
back.
criticism.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Please,
I got
okay.
the April ticker night meds.
Okay.
We also need to learn.
Is not here.
We also need to learn to take constructive criticism. So, in
With all
saying
of the-
that, if
when-
I put forth a piece of evidence and you find something that can debunk my piece of evidence, I need to be open to your method and your process. And I think everybody can learn from one another, and we could actually turn this into a legitimate science accepted by the scientific community if people would put their pride aside and actually try to do this as a unified front.
There's only one person that I can think of right offhand that is actively trying to do that. But, just like everybody else, he has people that are trying to
Right.
detract him.
But all of the drama, all of the BS, all of the back and forth, all of the clickiness, that was never why I got into the paranormal. That was never something I wanted to be a part of. I will be perfectly honest and open with everybody. I was a dance mom for 18 years. My daughter was a dancer.
16.
Well, 16. She was a dancer. And I lived in the dance world. And if you've seen the show Dance Moms, you see how catty those women are. And they are just like that in real life, if not worse.
And
And
we
the
stayed out of it.
paranormal got to be just as bad, if not worse, with some people. And I had to clear the energy away from me. I needed to focus on what I needed to focus on. And unfortunately, that meant me stepping back and stepping away from things. And this is the first podcast outside of Nick's birthday show on my way to North Carolina that I popped in for just a brief moment while I was going through the tunnels.
You did one other time too when I had Scott on this show, and then Tim came on. Yeah, it would have been November of 23, December of 23.
I came on it with them, and you came in with me a little bit.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I have not made an appearance on any other shows. I have not. I mean, I might comment in the comment section, but I have not shown my face since then, but those 2 times, because I don't want to deal with the drama of it. And it's sad. I
It
enjoy
really is. And it's like
It
you
is.
guys all know too well. I know, of course, and I plan on doing it again in just a couple days when I make my holiday music posts. It's not just obviously to celebrate that particular holiday, but to kind of basically bring that message up or talk about what's been going on lately and trying to. It's not necessarily that I'm pushing people, but I'm just trying to remind people what we should be. And although I do get a lot of people in this community that does agree with me, unfortunately, for many others, they just don't want to hear it. They want to do things their own way. And I can only do so much, obviously. And this is one of those classic examples that if I'm even able to reach out to just one investigator about it, then that means I've done something right putting this together. Because when you look at those messages, they're not easy to put together. It takes a long time for me, and I know it's going to be the same.
I'll turn your camera back on.
I can't. April's coming in to take her meds, and she's requesting not to be on camera. So,
Hi, April.
Hi, April.
Hello.
So, obviously, it can take quite a couple of days.
That's
What's
kind of how it was for this show, because for some people, we have made a difference. Like when Scott was talking about the messages that Natalie was telling him, just that alone made this whole show worth what we did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%
I mean,
agree.
I loved talking to people, and there was some people that I got really close to. There was some people that I got really burnt by. I'm not going to go into name names. That's between me and them, and obviously this thing knows. But
I'll name
I
everybody.
just,
No.
I hate everybody equally. That's pretty much how I roll nowadays. But
Excuse me?
So that just
But I mean, I like doing it. I liked having the interaction with everybody. There was so many people that I met that I would have never have met. I mean, Nick, you're one of them. I'd have never have met you. I'd have never have met the awesome guest. I know I was listening to you guys talking about all the people we had on the shows, and I'd have never have met them. I was talking in the chats on I think last week on your show, Scott's, the Jackass show, and Courtney Peterson seen me pop in and, hey girl, how's it going? I haven't talked to her in probably 2 years.
Yeah.
It was nice to say hi. I mean, it's not that I don't like anybody. That's not why I left. It's just all the drama. I just didn't want to deal with it. I want to investigate. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to help people, which is the whole reason I got into it to begin with. I want people to feel comfortable in their house. I've been called into private investigations with little kids, and no matter how the findings were, because we did debunk a lot of it, and it did turn out to be a bunch of BS.
Right.
The parents were feeding into the kids, and these little kids, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, are shaken with fear.
Yep.
Right.
And they're like, can you help us? Can you help us? And when I go into a place, and a lot of times when I go and do these investigations, I'm going in with mostly men, and I'm the only female, or maybe there's one other female. And these little girls, they don't want to go up to a man.
Yep.
They feel comfortable with a woman. They come to me. How can you help us? So I'll reach in my bag. I always keep extra stuff in my bag for kids. Here's a crystal. Put it in your pocket. It'll help you. And if that gives them a peace of mind, I've done my job.
Oh, absolutely.
that's how it needs to be.
There's one thing she always has extra of. It's crystal.
I might have said this.
I'm missing a couple toes.
I may have said this numerous times, but I'll say it again. But Ed Warren once said in an interview before he passed away, that when they went into homes and they need to help families out, they've always described themselves, even in the paranormal field, that we're very much kind of like the police in a way, because we're just like law enforcement officers. If they get a call and they're saying that this is going on, we need some help, they're gonna come in and assist. We're really kind of no different than kind of like how law enforcement is, because we're there to investigate, maybe not in this case with crime, but something that's just as troubling to some families out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
At the end of the day, if we can make somebody feel comfortable in their home and feel comfortable with what's going on, and I've said this a million times. How many times is it just grandma trying to say, hey, I'm still here.
Mhm.
I want to be part of your life. How many times is that the case, and if we can put them at ease and even in some way reassure them that, hey, what's here isn't here to hurt you, it's here to love you, then, if we can do that and we can pass that message along, and then that's what we should all be doing.
Exactly.
I have had numerous people come up and tell me and say that just you being here helps.
There was an investigation we did, and this girl, she was young adult, early teens, and they said it kept attacking her and everything was happening to her. And she sat down with me. Other people went and did their business, and she sat down with me and she said, I don't know what to do to help. And I said, let me look through my bag. Let me see what I have. And I had found a chakra bracelet that I had put together. I normally keep one with me on every investigation. And I said, here, honey, you can have this. I said, put this on, just wear it. Let me see how you feel in a little bit. She came back over to me and she goes, I feel so much lighter. Just that little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, her mom was still kind of a nutcase, and still saying there was so much going on and we needed to do X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
I still remember that one case in that really, really tight neighborhood. It was right before I got hurt at work.
Yeah.
That was the one person that I would not bless. So, for those who aren't familiar with where I play on the team, normally Tim and I are cleansers. We go in and we'll cleanse the house. He cleans it religiously, I clean it spiritually. And after any investigation we do, depending on what the case is involving, I mean, if we're just like at Crown Point or something, it doesn't normally happen. But the Davies house, it always happened.
Yes, it did.
Obvious reasons. And then other investigations, we always cleansed ourselves afterwards. And the lady who owned the house asked to be cleansed, and I cleansed her. And she asked for her boyfriend to be cleansed, and I refused. And I would not do it. And come to find out, the man was dealing with very dark demonic presence, which would have been above my pay grade, so to speak. And I didn't want it to attach to myself, which is why I wouldn't cleanse him, because I have to have safety for myself first. I'm not trying to sound selfish, but it's true. And I would not cleanse him. And 2 weeks later, the man committed suicide. But I could not have taken that battle on to put my family in jeopardy for me to have been sitting in his shoes.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that night because when you guys went into the cleanse I originally wasn't supposed to be there, but you guys wanted me to be there so that you can show me how you do what you do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I did not like being in that neighborhood. It was so incredibly tight. You could barely drive through there.
Yeah, it was a very tight neighborhood, but it was more than that. That house.
It wasn't the house, it was him. You could tell the difference when he was there and when he wasn't.
She thought it was her.
Yeah, it wasn't her, it was him.
Right. But as we investigated and asked questions, it turned out that it was actually him.
Yep.
You know, I can relate to that in some way because, you know, like you talk about tight neighborhood and that's what Tom and I experienced when it wasn't a residential. We were actually just, well, I mean, it wasn't a residential case, but we were close to the house was the one out in Kent, Ohio that we went to. And I don't know what it was. There was just something not right about that. I didn't know at the time. I thought it was just that house that was heavily affected. But then I found out, I later spoke with, in fact, it's someone you and I know, Jeremy, Sean Gilmore. Sean later told me that entire neighborhood has so much negative energy, which just goes to show that there's a lot going on. I can't even imagine what a lot of these residents must have to live through. And you know, just being at the house that we were looking for, it did have that ominous look. It was like up on a hill. Well, I mean, all the houses were. And it was just, there was.
I remember you being ranchy about that one house.
Nick, the reason I'm smiling is my first thought was, you moved the headstones, but not the bodies.
Oh. No, it was, yeah, I got very iffy. I mean, and we never even.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
Went inside this house. And there truly was a lot of tragedy that occurred in the history of it. And of course, obviously, just down the road, you have, because I mentioned it was in the town of Kent. Just down the road, you have Kent State University, which is, of course, where you had the May 4th, 1970 shootings, the State Massacre. That's among one of them. So it just goes to show that well over 100 years of like a lot of tragedies occurred. And just that house, I mean, if those residents ever called me over and said, you know, hey, we got this going on, we may need some help. Like if they didn't have any other options, because again, I might be willing to do it, but if there's like other options, that was probably the first case I'm thinking, you know what? I don't know if I could do this one because that entity that was in that house briefly attached herself to me. And when I started having these horrific nightmares, I mean, these were not just typical nightmares. They just, there was something different about them. And that's when I realized that I was in serious trouble. So I needed to do something.
One of the guests on our show Jeremy, I know you know about this, and Scott. Robert Murphy. Crystal and I, not long after we got back into the paranormal field, we took our daughter on an investigation with us, and she had
Yep.
somebody follow her home. And
Davey,
we had to reach
Davey
out to
Shaw.
Robert to help us get rid of it. And after that, we decided that we were going to dedicate our part to the team as far as cleansing went.
I remember that night. That night was really tense because she wanted to try an experiment with me and you.
Yeah.
And you intentionally went in circles to throw her off so that she wouldn't know exactly where we were in the house. But as soon as her feet crossed that threshold, I had my hands on her shoulders. She started shaking really bad.
There
And
was one room in that house where in the past a woman had been kept against her will
mhm.
in a tiny closet.
Yep.
Like if I stand in this closet with my back against the wall and you shut the door, the front of my feet touch the door.
It was very small. It was small for even Scott to get in.
And this woman was kept there against her will, and my daughter had a similar instance. In fact, we got a really Jeff Ox. And if you're watching, Jeff, hello, we're all praying for you. Jeff Ox got a great picture of a thermal handprint on my daughter's arm
I
where
remember.
none of us had touched her. And
That's one of the two scariest locations I've ever been in.
yeah.
Well, this house was very similar because part of what happened in that house was that there was a woman who was brutally murdered in that house. In fact, the person that lived in that house before was over 100 years, 110 years before. What that house, which is probably one of the oldest houses in the town of Kent, if not the oldest. I mean, it's an almost 200-year-old house. But it wasn't until over 100 years later you had this horrific crime. And apparently, this house was owned by one of the town's first doctors. And he found out that his wife had an affair, and it drove him into murdering her. And matters worse, doctor was never caught or charged or convicted of her crime. So
I gotta let
as a
my
result,
doggy out.
so as a result of that, this was probably the reason why I have this attachment. Because if you got, I know I asked, have you guys ever seen that episode, Paranormal Witness, called Nightmare on Chestnut Street? You guys remember seeing that one?
I've never seen that series.
It's first off, it is a creepy series. It's probably one of the last good series, like real good paranormal series, where it's actually scary and it's more just revolving around people that experience just sit down interviews, not investigations. And they show they do show the real footage and pictures, although by the time you get to the later last season, it lasted for 5 seasons. It kind of did fall apart, but one of the scariest episodes undoubtedly was this episode, and it was at that same exact house that we ended up finding in Kent, because there were 3 college students that lived there 20 years prior before our visit, and they had some horrific things occur in that house. And I don't, it's probably the one episode out of that entire show that I don't know what it was after I first watched. Of course, I watched it late at night. It was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. This was like 6 years ago, and I don't know what it was, but there was just something so unsettling about that episode. Like most of those shows, yeah, I sometimes get creeped out a little bit, but most of the time I don't get bothered by it. But that was the first time I was like, jeez, wow. And after that, since to this day, I still can't even watch that full episode now, knowing, especially since I've been to the real house. And it's very, very unsettling. If anybody decides to watch it, all I got to say is watch it at your own risk.
We've had a number of unsettling things happen to us, and not always while the 4 of us were together on an investigation.
I want to get to this real quick, Jeremy. Anthony commented, yes, I can see that. Ever walk in a home and the air was heavy? Yes.
Way too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's certain places there's certain areas and certain places, locations that we've visited that weren't even residentials that I cannot go in without feeling a heavy presence. I know one of them is at Randolph down in the basement. When I go down there, there's one area that I always have a problem with. And I've talked to other people who are sensitive the way I am, and they agree with me. Jason.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
Little late there.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, you just get that feeling anytime you go to a certain location like that. And it just, again, like this neighborhood I went to, I didn't know it was the entire neighborhood at the time. I thought it was just that house. But now, after what Sean had told me, now I have a better understanding of when you get those heavy feelings of energy.
Well, there was one house that we went to, and it was right before we went to Randolph. Was that in Kokomo?
Which one? Davy's house?
No, the residential that we went to before we went to Randolph. That was Kokomo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the supposed
succubus.
succubus incubus.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So-
Seriously, one of those?
So this guy, we see him. He is very wired. He is. You could tell he was extremely troubled. So we went through the house, me, Tim, Crystal, and we had Michael with us. Took
I
some,
think that was a combination of two things.
you know,
Night
well,
paranormal.
no, it wasn't paranormal. It turned out he was on an extremely bad alcohol withdrawal because he admitted to us 2 months before he quit drinking cold turkey. And
Not only that, there were two other things. Remember
was
how
us.
high the EMF spikes were in that house?
yeah, I do.
Very sleep
They
deprived.
were upstairs too.
He was a victim of sleep paralysis as well. And the number two most common, there are three most common, I don't want to call them hallucinations. I'll call them lucid dream, or not lucid dreams, but dreams that sleep
Dream
paralysis.
states.
Yeah, dream states that sleep paralysis provokes. The number one is somebody breaking into your house. And the number two is an incubus succubus.
That's right.
That
So I
guy had a birthday a couple of days ago. I didn't realize I still have him on my friends list.
I haven't been to Penhurst yet, Jason.
Yeah, we haven't been to Penhurst yet. We want to go.
I've been really. See, I want to go to Penhurst because first off, I did a Nick Files episode on Penhurst. In fact, that was for the investigation we were supposed to be a part of a few years ago. If you guys, well, Jeremy, you know this. If you guys don't know what I've been doing late, I haven't done Nick Files for a while because again, I've been focusing on my audio projects, but I'm planning on getting back to it as soon as I finish this up. But what I often still do, however, is whenever there is an investigation coming up, and I'm not just expanding it just for us, it's for any team or something. So I've been taking in requests where if we have an investigation coming up, I'll actually do an episode of Nick Files to kind of promote as like a precursor to the investigation. You know, those who want to know about the history, the activity that goes. Of course, not everybody wants to know, but for those who do, this is what my show has kind of become in a way. So I've been doing that more recently with Nick Files.
I just noticed the name change, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Crystal and this thing. I like that.
Chaos coordinator and the thing.
just now noticed that.
Yeah, I just now noticed it.
Both of us
Right after she called you the thing, that was 20 minutes ago.
this thing.
Not my birthday, Jason.
I am the thing.
That was Elwood we went to, not Kokomo.
Okay.
That house.
It was down that way though.
Yeah,
Elwood.
because we left Elwood and it was a straight shot across to
Randolph.
Winchester. Yeah.
One other thing I got to just bring up too, again, Yeah, like what Jason was just saying about Pennhurst. I mean, my slideshow that I did for Pennhurst, I even showed that news footage that was filmed. If you guys didn't know, there actually were 2 documentaries that were filmed in Pennhurst. Ironically, they were both filmed around the same time, around 1967, 1968. One was in black and white, the other was in color.
Oh, yep.
And it was interesting. It was like the color film, which was the more notorious of the 2, just seemed to obviously show the negative side effects of what was going on at that time. Well, the other version, I guess these were just the patients that were lucky that got the care that they needed. But my hope is when we ever have the opportunity to go into Pennhurst, I'd be doing this for a personal reason, because knowing that there were people like me who were locked in Pennhurst, when it was in operation. I mean, I know they had different types of disabilities, but knowing that there were people like myself that were locked in there, I want to basically at least bring them some kind of closure that, I have autism, but we're not being locked up anymore like we used to. Times have changed, and I'm sorry that you guys didn't get to have that opportunity.
Still are.
What's that?
Not necessarily locked up, but some still are, because Angelia was actually strapped to a chair most of her day when she was in public school. I've talked about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just, well, I mean, like, what I like more that those that were mistreated, actually like went through a lot more worse. And it was just, I would first say I'm terribly sorry for what they went through in life, but they're not doing it as much, and that, we're not being kept in, but you get what I mean, though.
Jason, with your question, do you want me to give you the Zach Baggins answer, or do you want me to give you the real answer?
Davy's house, Jason.
Yeah, the Davies house was disturbing.
It seemed like every time I went there, somebody that I was with got attacked every single time. Because I remember
Scott got scratched. Kayla got scratched.
I got pushed down the stairs.
She got pushed down the stairs.
You guys thought I got possessed.
You're always possessed.
And for some reason, they all leave me alone. I don't know if it's because I'm big, I guess. Maybe I come across as scary, but nobody ever.
No, you had
They're
encounters.
staying away from you because you're showing too much skin.
I did. I did have an encounter. I did have an encounter at Crown Point. Yeah, they feel sorry for me because I'm bald. I had an encounter at Crown Point where, and I had never researched Crown Point Jail, the old Lake County Sheriff's Office. No research done on it, nothing. We got locked in a cell, and all I wanted to do was ram my head into the bars.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I wanted to do was just grab the bars and bash my skull into them. And I mean, it was so intense. Like my head just kept telling me, do it, just do it, just do it. And later, we did some research, and in our research, we discovered that two people committed suicide by ramming their head into the bars in that jail.
Yep.
I am going to be working on trying to get us back over there this summer. I want you guys there, and it'll be warm enough so that we can try to do that experiment that we tried to do last time when it got too cold.
We won't freeze our asses off and have to stand in front of my little heater.
Freezing.
And I was so cold.
Yeah,
well, I'll never forget how freezing it was there.
I am never going to say no to going to Crown Point. I'm just
I have sage, I have holy water, I have camphor, I have a whole bag of tricks.
Yeah. That last time that we were all there, something bad did happen that night. Oh man.
Yeah, the last time we were there, that was not.
But
no.
The last time we were there was the time I went upstairs by myself. I was the only one in the prison.
That's my favorite place to investigate.
Remember that? I was the only person in the entire prison. You guys were all downstairs in the little waiting room.
Yeah, the lobby area.
Yeah.
Jeremy was with you when your hat got pulled off.
Yeah, Jeremy was with me when my hat got pulled off there.
Yep.
But we couldn't remember if it was that night for your hat, because that was my first investigation back after I got hurt. But I
Yeah.
could not remember if that was the night that your hat got pulled off.
Can you go get that orange hat I wear to work? It's right there in the closet.
Because I remember I went with Clarissa.
Yeah, that's the night that I was there with you, but it wasn't the night my hat got pulled off. That was another time.
Because I was doing the experiment with my eye.
But do you remember I got that audio when I was up there? Remember I asked to go up to Universal all by myself. I didn't want anybody to go in there because I wanted to see if something was trying to tell me something about with the bashing my head into the cell thing. And I sat right in front of that cell again.
An audio that you got? I don't.
There was like it sounded like a whole group of people walking above me.
I remember one audio that you did get. It sounded like somebody was throwing coins on the floor.
Yeah, that was the very first time I was there. Jeremy, do you remember this hat? I wear it to work now, so it's dirty. But this is the
That's
exact
the one
same
that
hat
got
I was
pulled-
wearing.
That's the one that got pulled up.
That's the exact same hat. And literally it went from here to there
And I was watching it when that happened.
in an instant.
Yeah. That was the trippiest thing.
Something
Yeah.
just went whoop.
Yeah. But no, I am going to work with Sandy about getting a date out there this weekend, this summer.
I was going to
I
say,
ain't
I
going
told
this
you
weekend,
soon.
Jeremy. I said I'd never turn it down. I'm not going this weekend.
No, I'm not going this weekend either.
I already got plans for this weekend too.
I got a lot of things between now and next Saturday to get ready for Louisiana.
Well, not only that, but
What are you going to New Orleans for?
Bowling tournament.
Ah,
No, I'm not
actually
going to New Orleans. I'm going to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He said he's going. I was going to say he's going to Baton Rouge.
if you go
For me.
anywhere down there, get a French fry po' boy and some beignets. We're just saying.
Last time I was in Baton Rouge, there was four of us walking around all around the convention center where we were bowling. We had a 10 o'clock bowling shift, 10 p.m., meaning we weren't going to be done until 1 in the morning. Before our bowling shift, there was a group of four of us. We were going everywhere around the outside of that convention center, trying to find a restaurant that was still open because one of our guys had a craving for crawdads. And that was a long walk because that's a big ass building, and it was hot.
Which
We
building
were all
was this?
sweating like pigs when we got back.
Which building was this?
It's the convention center in Baton Rouge.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can only imagine how hot it must have been.
It was the end of April when we were there.
So probably about 90, 95.
Down there, not that hot.
down there. It was hot when we were down there. We were down there in April. We left straight
May.
from Waverly.
I think that was May.
No, we went in April that year. Jeremy, didn't we go in April to Waverly?
Let
Oh
me
yeah, yeah, we did.
Yeah,
It was in
let
April.
me pull up the log.
It was like 2020 or 2021.
2021. That was when that was my first. Well, I mean, I already had met you guys personally. That was my first time I got to meet Scott and everybody else.
That was April 26th.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
And then
right there at the end, yeah.
we left straight from there and went down to Louisiana, down to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And
And it was
I even have the
I said it right.
phenomenal.
Mandeville Cemetery in the log when you guys went investigating there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys went down there right there at the end of.
I know, Jason. You can keep
All this
it.
talk about because, like what Jason just said, like 101 temperatures. I can only think of one other place that ever did something like that, where it was so damn hot to investigate. Doesn't exist anymore, sadly, but that was when I was with my old crew. We investigated Bobby Mackey's Music World, also in Kentucky. And
Oh yeah, I remember
that was back in 2012. And I'll never forget, because we went in August. I'll never forget how hot and humid it was, inside and out. But the worst place was the apartment where Carl used to live in. And oh my God, I don't think we were in that room for no more than 10 minutes. It literally could have been a sauna. If people were looking for a sauna, this would have been it. It was so freaking hot out in this building. It was bad, really bad.
I did Bobby Mackey's, and it was the year before in 2020. Did that right before the annual trip to Waverly. Um, the actual building and the basement weren't so hot, but we did the apartment buildings above.
Yep.
That one was hot.
Right? That's the same one I'm talking about. It was horrible up there.
Yeah, that one was hot. The actual music world building, not so much.
Yeah, it wasn't too much either from what I can remember, but either way, we were sweating our asses off, no less. It was just like a never-ending cycle. It was just one of the guys, he literally had to take his entire shirt off because he just couldn't deal with it, and it was just so overwhelming. But after we went to that apartment room, there was no way any of us were going back, and we made sure before we left we had all of our equipment and stuff to make sure we didn't have to go back upstairs for it.
But Nick, when we all went to Waverly together, that had to be one of my favorite investigations ever. First, the one and only time I've ever seen a shadow person was during that trip.
During that one, that was when Crystal and I were chased down the corridor by a bat.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I forgot about that.
And I remember who was with us? It was John Doherty.
Oh yeah, yep.
I was up on the 5th floor, and I sat down on the ledge looking over the building and swung one of my legs off. And he reached out and grabbed me. I scared the hell out of him.
I'm doing a healthy job of it tonight.
But I still remember when I first walked into Waverly, I was telling you guys, I told you guys prior, and then I told you guys still when we were there about my previous visit that I went when I was still, just a teenager at the time. And I just remembered how amazed. I mean, it was even kind of a little emotional for me just seeing how much change that has been made to the building. Because I remember I was like, I don't remember any of this. This was all like in really bad shape. It was all dirty. And now all of a sudden it's all cleaned up. I was literally expecting from what I was going to see from back in 2010. And it was not. I just couldn't believe it for myself. It brought back a lot of teen memories, but it also opened the door for something brand new that I was not expecting.
And I remember Nick and I having to stop halfway up the tunnel to catch our breaths.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because and that was the first, and I remember that too. Like, I remember I walked down the tunnel, and I was saying to you that my dad and I walked there back in 2010, but we never made it to the bottom. But we did, though. We actually made it.
Well, like I said, this summer I'm going to get a date for Crown Point. We're going to get there. We're going to do what we wanted to do last time. And Nick, you're going to bring Kate.
I've been telling Kate several times. She's definitely interested in wanting to go. And actually, Joe and his crew, with things in Wisconsin, they want to come out to that too, believe it or not. So,
how many people does she let us have up there? What's her max number?
I don't think she really has one.
There's different floors that you could basically switch out. Probably enough room. And
remember when we had that terrible meet and greet? We had 30?
Yeah. I think it was much higher than that.
Yeah, but that was almost too many people.
That was too many people.
Even with us combined, like, for example, Joe's chapter, it's just really him, his wife, and a friend of theirs. That was who we investigated with at the residential location last year. And for my crew, I mean, we have grown a little bit. It's obviously me, Don, Kate, Mike Myers, Tom. That's about 5. But we do have 2 other candidates that are interested in joining. They really want to do some investigation. So there's probably going to be at least about 7 of us. But, when you really have it combined, it's a little large, like with all of us together. But if you have them separated and stuff, it should be pretty manageable.
Okay, so if you got your 7 and then we have the rest of us 4, that's a perfect crew right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I am wanting Crown Point to be Kate's first investigation. I think
Yes.
it would be a great.
That's normally when they ask me if I'll take them investigating, I always say the best place I would take you first off is Crown Point. You'll get some activity, but it's not crazy normally, and it's not super scary. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the Davies house. It's not riddled with you don't know what's around every other corner.
Yeah, at
It's
least at Crown Point we know what's there.
Right.
Jason, Kate is she's a
Unless
close
they
friend of
read
ours.
that.
Kate is a
Universal.
Go ahead, Jeremy. What were you saying?
Remember?
Yeah, she's a member. Yeah, she's a fellow Things member. She's also been a show host on some of our shows here. She does have her own show, which she's kind of taking a break from for right now. And interestingly, she lives in the Chicago area, but she's originally from the UK. So she's just, and here's the other thing too. Not only would the jail be a great first for an investigation for her, but it would also give her the opportunity, obviously, Jeremy, to meet you, the rest of the Things crew, and also if Joe's able to make it out, she'd finally be able to meet Joe for the first time.
I definitely want to team Kate up with Crystal because she can learn a lot from Crystal.
Oh, absolutely. I think she could because, believe it or not, I know you have, Jeremy, but Scott and Tim, if you guys have ever seen her shows, in spite of how knowledgeable she is, she's never actually been on an investigation. So that's why we're trying to make it her first. Now, her husband is a little bit hesitant about that. He's originally from Italy, and a lot of people there obviously are very religious over there, so I can understand, his religious beliefs for it. But
that's okay. We'll take care of her.
Yeah, I've actually said that to him a few times, saying she'll definitely be taken care of. We'll make sure that she's safe.
Yep.
So, okay, we are coming up on 3 hours. I actually figured we would be going way over what the show was.
And I'm not even the one that keeps talking.
Yeah, you are.
Just real quick, Stacy and Nicole said they want to go to the jail at some point with us.
Have you never been to that jail?
I don't know if they have.
That's what I'm asking her.
Yeah.
I know right now Scott's not feeling very good. So he's probably going to want to.
Yeah, I saw his message.
Yeah. If you can stick around long enough to at least watch this ending video that I got, I think you'll like it. So
sure I will.
Is everybody okay with going ahead and wrapping up this special epic 100th episode of the 13th Dimension?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, just want to thank everybody for.
She's not been at the jail
for everything.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to do this again.
Maybe when we all feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for 3 years, Crystal.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell the doctors to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Tell my body to stop it.
I just also want to say real quick, the fact that this is our 100th episode is, at the time when I was helping with you, Jeremy, and of course the time when you guys first brought me in during the one of the first early episodes, I I just want to say thank you guys for this opportunity. I mean, this really meant a lot. So I'm glad, and I'm glad to officially be part of the crew now. So this has been great. So thank you guys. Thank you.
for being on
Thanks,
this
Nick.
journey and the ride, dude. It's been amazing.
It's been an amazing ride. I hated the fact that the show had actually ended at one time because it was not going to continue. And then, because we all agreed 13th Dimension was done. Then a few minutes later, a few months later, I started to get that itch. And I realized, you know what, we're not that far from 100 episodes. Let's get up to that. And now, and seeing the reaction of everybody in the audience, I think we need to do something. I would like for us, even if it's like a once a month thing, I would like for all of us to get together once a month.
Not only that, but I want to take the time to thank everybody that has supported us and everybody that comes on and comments and watches this show. It really means a lot to us as people,
Yeah.
not just investigators, but people.
Yeah.
And we love all of you. We're more than blessed to get to know all of you. So thank you for watching.
Absolutely.
It is it is a blessing that they have welcomed us. On
Some of
their
the connections we've made with people too, they're such a blessing. Some of these people I wouldn't have in my life if I hadn't done this.
right.
And I'll forever be grateful for them.
And be grateful to that, again, not only just bringing me in, to help you guys out, but the fact that, again, when I was mentioning earlier that I was establishing all these international connections and stuff like that, that with part of my help, you guys wouldn't have gotten some of those international, I mean, not all of them, but some of those international connections would have been possible with what I was able to bring. So it's like you guys had benefits for me. I also had benefits for you guys.
We benefit each other, and I think Scott said this, that we were able to bounce off of each other and feed off of each other effortlessly.
Absolutely.
It's funny to think. I mean, yes, I've now, maybe it's because of this show. I don't know what it is, but it's like now all of a sudden it's like everybody wants me for all these shows now, which I will admit does get overwhelming and tiring. But at the same time, though, nonetheless,
Jason,
even if this is the case, in some way, this always draws back to like my visit when I first came on here on 13th Dimension. And I couldn't regret any of that. So that's what I love so much about being part of this.
Everything for me circles back to the 13th Dimension because it was actually, I think for all of us, it's the first time we've ever been on a show.
on a podcast, yes, I did selling on the internet, but yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think that when we all started doing this, and the first time I was a guest, Nick, was with these two guys and the whole Vlad the Impaler thing, and I ended up doing maybe 8 or 9 shows just on Vlad the Impaler.
Too damn many.
You did a whole slew of them. Yes, you did.
Compared to what I have to do nowadays, oh my God, it's probably even worse.
But the truth is like, it was really cool. I got contacted by the Whitby Dracula Society not long after the episode from the 13th Dimension, and became an honorary member of the Whitby Dracula Society because that's where Bram Stoker wrote the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool. But
so we have a local celebrity in the building, guys.
No. I know a lot about one guy in history. Okay,
I'm not seeing those royalty payments.
Yeah,
right.
See, if I could just say one thing about 13th Dimension too, is that although it was not my first time appearing on a podcast like this, because I had been on a guest previously on other shows, there was just something so different about 13th Dimension compared to all the other shows before and after when I made that first appearance. Now, almost 5 years ago, I cannot believe it.
We were family.
Yeah. It was like,
Nick,
it was like
saw you as this cocooned person that just opened up and spread out from there.
Yeah.
Actually, Tim, I think that would really be true for all of us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like all the other shows that I was on, yeah, there were. First off, a lot of those shows that I was starring, I was in as a guest. Most of these podcasts no longer run. There's still a few that do, and every now and then they'll bring me in, like as a guest. But for this one, there was a part of me that just told me that I think this one's going to succeed within the next couple of years. I think some of these podcasts I was already well aware that they were not going to last too long, even if they were successful. But this one, I just felt there was just something special about it. And now that 5 years have passed, I was right, and we made it to 100. Not only did I eventually become part of the network and joined, helped co-found along with Jeremy and everybody else, but also eventually become part of the actual team because my previous team had fallen apart.
We all started this network.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah, sorry. But, it just went, I was absolutely right after 5 years later.
This group has been known to go on for several hours. And with that, I'm getting ready to go back to bed.
Yeah.
Scott is getting
she's
tired.
sick. For everybody who didn't know, she's very sick, so she needs to go lay down.
Yeah, I got a guest on the 98th episode, the night before we did our veteran suicide one.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
I got to get to sleep because I go back to work
whatever you have going on. And
Scott, I want one thing before we go. One quick thing. Scott, your final thoughts, and Jeremy, your final thoughts. You guys are the original hosts.
Yes.
Scott, you go first since you're the one that you're the smart guy that thought this up.
Hello. I don't know about that, but
well, the truth is, you're the one that started this whole mess.
Final thought. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, the connections I made, the friendships I made, the friendships that got closer. I couldn't ask for anything better. To make a small little dream come a little bit bigger, and I'm the least known, just so y'all know, of the podcast world, and I'm good with that. I think I've been on maybe 5 podcasts where I've actually been a guest. So
seriously,
yeah.
Wow.
But just I am thankful that everybody took a chance on a little something that I had dreamed up. So, and for Jeremy and Tim and Crystal to jump in and say, okay, let's do this. And then, for Jeremy to even jump out and say, okay, we'll do this. We'll plan it. And then for him to bring Tim and Crystal on to be historians and end up coming in and being host with us, that was an absolute blessing. And I couldn't ask for anything better. And I truly mean that.
Well said, Scotty.
And for Nick Moulet, thank you for jumping in.
And being our guinea pig that one night.
Being a guinea pig. And becoming part of the 13th Dimension family, because you help keep this dream going.
It's my absolute pleasure, and I can't really say it any other way too. It's you guys are family to me. You guys
Howie, that is freaking amazing.
Absolutely, brother.
Jeremy?
So what was it my idea to bring Tim and Crystal on? I really don't remember.
You two set us down that night at Randolph and asked us to be part of this.
Because I thought he approached you at work. I thought he approached you at work.
We talked about it beforehand.
I just got taken along for the ride.
All I know is it was 5 years ago, and I'm freaking old.
I just got told, hey, I got a friend at work who does paranormal investigating. And you remember that little guy that delivers the Pepsi that we always talk to at Walmart? He does it too. So he's going to be there too. So why don't we go and check this thing out up at Crown Point and see if you like it or not? Okay.
Hey, welcome
now-
to the family. Welcome to the family. Now you stuck with me.
I know.
See, I should have said that when I officially became part of things in 13th Dimension, saying, I'm part of your family now. You guys are going to have to deal with me.
Jeremy?
My final thoughts. I could write a book on this. Actually, I am. My final thoughts of the 13th Dimension is that this has been a life altering journey. It took 18 months to plan this out. And while we did have a couple hiccups here and there for the first few weeks, in no time it became like a well-oiled machine. And that is how you know you have the absolute right people in the right place. And if it wasn't for this show, I probably would not have started Supernatural Talk with Adrian, Nick, and Eileen. If it wasn't for this show, the Thanes Network probably would not exist the way that it does and be successful like it is right now. And a lot of that success has to do with these people with me. I would actually lean towards more to Crystal on that because she took over the network when I got hurt really bad. She helped keep this thing going and running smoothly when I couldn't. I am forever indebted to her for that. And the friendship that we've had, you can definitely, and you can still see it on this show today.
Yes.
The kind of chemistry that we have.
Oh yeah.
It's just, granted, we used to talk every single day. All the time. My phone, ding, 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 all day long.
I don't miss my phone going off. I don't miss that side of things.
I don't. I don't either. But I do miss us talking very frequently because I know, because of everything that has happened and still is going on, we're not able to talk to each other for weeks at a time. Hell, I came to your house unannounced, literally.
Well, you know my door's always open.
I
Always.
know, but I even tried to call you. You did not answer.
My phone is on vibrate all the time because my phone does not differentiate volume between notifications and phone calls. It's all grouped together under the same slider.
You can't change that in your settings.
No,
No, that's
believe me, I've tried.
He's
that's
got to get a phone.
Yeah, I got a ghetto phone.
so.
You don't want me with an expensive phone.
So I got to spend time with Scott and then Tim and Crystal right before Christmas. And it was the last time that I had seen or maybe even talked to you guys since March. Maybe talked to you a couple times.
We seen you in April at Tim's mom's funeral.
Yeah.
I forgot
But
about
that was under the circumstances and very brief. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I did go there.
And I appreciate it.
I couldn't not go.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where I was so busy trying to talk to everybody there that.
See, and if I didn't live so far away, I probably would have gone as well. But being
trust me, his mom was one of 11 with all the nieces and nephews included. But yeah,
trust me, there's a lot of family there.
Okay, well, still, I just would have thought it would have been the right thing to do. But it's hard to do that when you live 3.5 hours away.
Yeah.
There
No,
would have been no excuse for me to not go because you guys had been there for me through the worst of my times. And I had felt so guilty that I had not been able to be there for you guys. Because I remember the first time that you went into the hospital, Tim, I was in Colorado.
yeah.
And after Crystal called, I was talking to Adrian. I'm supposed to be back home. I got to go see Tim, but
I was okay.
He's still around.
I know that. But
Okay.
still, it's the principle of the thing. Like I said, you guys had always been there for me, and
Always will be, dude. And you're still there for us. You still reach
Yeah.
out.
I
Sometimes life just takes over.
Yeah.
so and especially since I'm not working, I would have had no excuse to not be there for you at your worst time.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, there was no way I was not going to be there. And when I came to see you guys on right before Christmas, I think that was the first time I was with Scott in a bowling alley.
It was.
And
I'm just saying, Jeremy, you'd whip my ass in bowling.
well, maybe not right now.
I bet you still would.
I'd be curious to see because I bowled too. I kind of wonder what it'd be like if Jeremy and I ever bowled.
Last week I did 4 games, and out of the 4 games I had a 184 average.
It's better than me.
Because I'm having to practice, and that's without shooting spares. I'm just only doing strike balls every time. But I had to practice to get ready for Louisiana.
Right.
Anyway,
The fact that you said you're shooting spares makes you better than me.
no, I am not shooting spares. Even when I leave corner pins, I'm still practicing that strike ball, and I was still averaging 184.
Speaking of Kate, by the way, what we were mentioning earlier, she's trying to reach out to me about playing Minecraft.
All right, Jeremy, play the video. Let's wrap this
Well,
one up.
anyway, I just wanted to say when I came to see all of you guys, it seemed like it was just yesterday. And now having all of you guys here, Nick included, it's like this is how it's supposed to be.
It's like home.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I continue doing this show, because somehow I know one day you guys will be back on this show, and not just for an appearance.
God.
Speaking of John,
Oh
there
my
he
God.
is.
Hey, John, I
John?
was earlier.
Oh my goodness.
He
Hey,
popped up on
John.
he popped up on my TikTok the other day.
So, okay, I am going to go ahead and play the outro video. It is 3 minutes long. Everybody out there in the audience, thank you so much for playing along with us tonight. It has been a blast. Thank you guys for spending your evening with me, and audience spending the evening with all of us.
Thank you guys so
Also,
much.
Thank you.
Definitely.
It's
here's
because
to the next 100 episodes.
Cheers.
at this rate, it'll take 15 years to get 100 episodes.
Okay, at least up to 150.
Yeah. Cheers.
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 Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
And wait. We can't end like this. We got to say one more thing.
I know. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And remember, if it's paranormal,
Or beyond.
We got it covered.
That's right.
right.
There you
13th
go.
dimension. Thank you guys.
Have a good night. Thank you so much, and we will see you all
Good
again.
night, everyone.
See you on the flip side.
Sunday morning breakfast laying in our bed. Picture perfect, couldn't get better in my head. Waves of Malibu are washing over you and me. Ain't no place in the world I'd rather be. These are the moments to hold the closest. These are the nights we must keep tight and never let go. The sweet surrender and stormy weather. These are the days to remember. Standing by your side, watching the sun turn red, making memories we'll never forget. Daylights are running, but in your arms I'll stay. So lay right here and let the hours burn away. These are the moments to hold the closest. These are the nights we must keep tight and never let go. The sweet surrender and stormy weather. These are the days to remember. Let's live our days our way with no regret. Years go by, but the best ain't over yet. These are the moments to hold the closest. These are the nights we must keep tight and never let go. The sweet surrender